Ready? Recording. Uh, okay, I'm gonna go ahead, could we, this is bring the program, we have a forum, we can do roll call.
Yeah, we'll do roll call. Okay. Okay. Bill Robinson,
Here,
Carla Ramirez. Here. Michael Bostia. Sandra Sanchez. Here. Janice Williams. Here. Bobby Wilson.
Here.
Jeanette Larusa Fenton. Here. Cynthia Maloney. Here. King Basin. Delphine Jones. Here. And Tina Young. Okay, we have a form.
okay, I want to thank everyone, we have a very important agenda tonight. Things to go over. We'll have to do a line item on the budget, so, keep your comments short, be specific to the point. And we're gonna keep the round system going, we have everybody have an opportunity to comment if they want to comment, and we'll do a second round, but. Main issue tonight is we need to take a detailed look at that budget, and we need to correlate Jesus list with the list that they gave us, because we need to make sure that we have continuity. And with that, I want to open up the West Tampa Community Redevelopment Area Community Advisory Committee meeting, April 23rd, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. Hillsborough Education Foundation, the hall at 2006 Northtown Avenue, Tampa 12-33607. With that, we usually start out with public comment. But before I do that, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Let the record show that Mr. Garcia is now here. Thank you, sir. As in attendance. And we just made a motion to approve the agenda. Do you have any questions to make? Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, nay. Motion passed. The agenda is approved. We're gonna move to public comment. Normally, we have a public comment for 3 minutes from anyone from the public that's here and present. And then we go online and see if there's anyone online that has any public comments. So is anyone here in the public that wants to speak for 3 minutes? If so, if you would, Mr. Earl, let me get a mic. And you have 3 minutes, sir. Introduce yourself. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is David Hunter. I'm the planning and design coordinator for the city of Tampa. I'm here tonight. I met with Carlos yesterday as an introductory meeting, and he suggested I come here tonight to introduce myself to you all, so I appreciate the opportunity. The purpose of me coming here tonight is really primarily to introduce myself and let you know my goals over the next few months. There's been lots of talk in exchanges in the past about zoning changes to the West Tampa overlay. As the planning design coordinator, that falls under my purview with the city, and we're going to be looking at what's happened in the past. We've already started to dive into all the suggestions that have been made. My target is to look at where we're at today and then plan for the future. My goal is sometime in June to have a meeting, not just with all of you, but with everybody within the West Tampa overlay, and really dive into some of those changes that we would like to see. Primarily for the July cycle for zoning changes. Part of that is going to be looking at what kinds of changes can be done now, and what kind of changes can be done maybe down the road that take a little bit more time, a little bit more analysis, legal wordsmithing, so to speak, so they could be implemented into the code. But that's about it. I just wanted to let you know that please look out for maybe an email or a phone call from me. I probably will be trying to contact as many of you as possible. And like I said, the target is really to schedule a meeting in June where we can all hash out some of these ideas and really dive into it for future changes to the code.
Okay.
That's about it.
Does anyone have any questions of the gentleman?
I have a comment.
Go ahead. This, Sansa, within this gentleman.
We received a letter, presidents of the different neighborhood and communities got letters that the president of Farm Gardens, McFarland Park, Old Hyde Park, West Tampa, and West River. Letters about this meeting in June. If it's going to be in the July cycle, seems to me that it has to be sooner. That's one thing. The other thing, probably 4 of us here that are on the West Tampa CAC will be the ones representing those communities. So it's more of a question of, can we have a workshop so we can all attend? Otherwise, we have a problem with the sunshine law. So that's my only 2 comments.
That's fair enough. I understand there's a lot of changes. The idea was in June, pushing to June to allow as many people to come as possible. I'm still trying to work on the location where we can have this meeting. Again, it won't be just the people in this room, it'll be everybody in the overlay. I did reach out or send emails to, I guess, all the presidents of those. I haven't heard back from one. So if you do have communication with them, please let them maybe, working on getting more extensive lists so I can personally reach out to those people. So certainly any assistance you can provide would be welcome. And as far as a workshop, that would kind of be the intent of that meeting in June, is to hash out all of those items and really kind of say what's feasible, what we do now. But the date and time is going to be determined, so it's a question.
Did you send out information to West River not to do? Because I don't know the time.
I believe so. I don't know if I was working off of a current list, so I'm still working on making sure I have the right contacts.
Do you have contact with them?
I should do one, well, I'll leave you my card as well.
I can give her a copy of that. That's all. Just.
Okay, I don't recall the West Tampa CPC getting a letter.
Again, where I got my list, was off our neighborhood map off. our-
Okay, let me explain something to you. If you're gonna come over to the CRA area, the list should come from our manager, Mrs. Privet Roy. Because she has all of our information, because there's 8 neighborhood groups that sit there.
Right.
And so if you go off the city map, you're not gonna see West Tampa CPC, because we're not a neighborhood group, we're a corporation, nonprofit. You're not gonna see Project Link. They're a nonprofit corporation.
Well, that's an excellent point, and I will.
So the neighborhood group ain't gonna get you past your goal. Because some people like us can say, well, we weren't included, we don't have the knowledge, they ain't doing it right, why they include us? Like, it's already
I
started,
agree with
right?
and my intent is
So
to
if
get you involved as much.
But if you go to the store, we have a list of 100 and some people, and we've been doing this since 2005, 15. So,
Well, that's great, and I hope that we can.
most of the neighborhood groups are registered with the city. It's not necessarily as nonprofits, there's several nonprofits sitting on there that ain't part of that neighborhood automatic list.
And to answer your points, Brendan and I, we just started a dialogue this morning.
Now, as far as this meeting, Ms. Sanchez brought a good point about sunshine. You know, we can't talk to each other until we at this meeting about anything. So, Ms. Thrower, I don't know how you're gonna do that, but you might wanna, how we gonna have this meeting here and not get the violation of the sunshine, and not only that, it has to be noticed for us to even attend.
So that's number 1. So it will be a public meeting, it's going to be publicly noticed. And it's an issue that's not necessarily coming before you here. It's also, it's going to be, we did this with the parking lots before. So we had a large meeting, neighbors came, they were all part of the CAC. It's fine as long as you publicly notice it. And there's proper notice. Y'all can all attend. It's fine.
Okay, but most likely, an older issue is gonna come back to this committee for us to vote on something.
True. It could, yeah.
Now, it will.
Well,
I mean.
I will get, I'll follow up with our legal list to make sure.
Yeah,
They can do
it's a
this.
way, because
But-
I guarantee, we had the subcommittees. See, we didn't have to worry about that, because the subcommittees would knock out all the issues and then bring it back to us, and then we could move forward. But when now you open it up to everybody sitting up here, everybody going, it creates an issue, because the subcommittees were still individually noticed, they were recorded, they could talk, that they would get a lot done, because they would just concentrate on that. But when you throw us all with the general public, we may have to come, you know what I'm saying?
You're an advisory group, we're not making the final decisions, recommendations to the steering board, correct?
We are advising, but there's a certain decision we make here.
Goes
So we
to-
always show that we can't do that, otherwise we be talking to each other on the phone every night. So just we need clarification from Nancy, how we're gonna do this, that's all.
And just another thing that you mentioned, I did share y'all's list with Hunter here. We will also, as soon as you get a notice out about the meeting, we will get it out on larger airways to invite everybody in the West End community, so they're well aware that the meetings are doing that. So we're happy to do that.
All right, thank you so much. Mr.
I'm assuming you've been made aware of the changes recommended by our subcommittee. That, okay, so will that be discussed? And if so, if we were ever able to regroup, are we going to be able to speak to that? Because of sunshine, because if it does come up as a vote, we've discussed it, do we all have to recuse ourselves from the vote? Because 5 years ago, I started with this very subcommittee, and we still haven't accomplished anything in that regard. And it's very frustrating. So I would hate that to be the one thing that even delays it further. So we could just get clarification on that.
Yeah, but I just want to thank the city for finally listening to us and finally assigning somebody, Mr. Vice Chair, to get this thing moving forward. Okay? There's a time, some of the ads, this and that, and this. Okay, that's it. Anyone, okay, thank you very much. And look forward to that, discussion in those meetings. Okay, is anyone else in the budget that wants to speak for 3 minutes? That's it. Going once, going twice. Okay, I don't see anyone else stepping up. Is anyone online?
Yes, Joe Robinson, Mike Rainbow. Can you
All
hear
right,
me?
yeah, you got 3 minutes, Mike, thank you.
Thank you very much. So I just wanted to do some quick updates. On May the 22nd, the CDC is going to be doing an online presentation titled Artificial Intelligence, ChatGPT, and Web3, Building Wealth and Increasing Economic Value by Building Skill Sets. It specifically focuses at low-income individuals. This is going to be one of the first type of strategies that focus specifically on poor people. The second one is coming up is on May 24th. This is a professional business plan workshop. A lot of struggling businesses in West Tampa, especially Black businesses. Our history includes doing business with the CDC of Tampa, the Urban League, and career sources back in the past. So we have a track record. And then tomorrow, we're doing a funding and growing a nonprofit. This, if you don't know, we're a nonprofit, that's over $100,000 in grants for nonprofit. But particular concern is African American organization. They receive 24% less in terms of funding. And again, we're going to continue to send out the online surveys. We send them surveys out every month. We constantly want to get the pulse of the community. So don't be surprised if you receive another survey for this month. Thank you, Joe.
With that said, we'll move right on to, has everyone had a chance to take a look at the minutes? If so, I'll entertain a motion to approve, the minutes. Okay, motion to approve the minutes.
So,
Motion by Mrs. Benton, Mr. Benton, is there a second? Second by Mr. Jones, is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed, moving on for the minutes that have been approved. Community police update, is somewhere here from TPD? The one here from TPD, we'll come back if they still back up. Is anyone here from, code enforcement? One here from code enforcement, okay, we're moving right along. Special presentations. Main Street Quick Bill Statement, Scientific Plans, Nick Bennett. Is there Nick Bennett here?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Mr. Robinson.
yes, ma'am.
Actually, I'd like for, introduce Nick and
So
there you go.
it's your show.
Thank you.
Mr. B.
Hi, good afternoon, Melissa Martinez. Oh, thank you. Hi, good afternoon, Melissa Martinez, Senior PM from CRA. I just wanted to introduce Our newest employee, you already met Nick, and he's going to give you an update of one of the projects that we have on our list. Now we have Bryce Berger, he's an urban planner, and he's also joined our team. He's going to be helping with a lot of the planning on some of the projects here in the West Tampa and other Syria districts. I think we're gonna. So I'm gonna pass it to Nick now.
Here you are.
Just so you know, what you're passing on the bigger version of what you should have received in your task. So it's maybe twice. We can also put it on the screen if you want. I think you'll see it better in the format.
All right, I sit over here. Right, get started here. Hello again, everybody. My name is Nick. Pleasure to join you again for my second meeting. We are going to be talking about the CRA project status report, 3 projects in particular, and I just handed out an updated version. One that was sent out in an email had a typo with the alleyway study road. But just to get started here, I've also handed out the mobility department's sign and pavement marking plans. Just a little bit of history on that. These plans were, and this would be item 6 on the updated status report. These plans were presented by Jesus back in December of 2023, December 4th to be specific. The plans are part of a larger citywide mobility initiative called Tampa Moves. Based off of our notes from the previous manager, the committee had requested an estimate, and the estimate is on the last page of the plans provided, amounting to about $260,478. So today, and I think that you've all seen these plans already, CRA staff is requesting the advisory committee discussion and motion to move forward regarding this plan with the figure or the estimate provided in mind.
Do you want us to discuss that? But I got some questions on it, but, okay, we'll.
Yeah, pending any questions.
Let's just go right into quick bill. Quick bill, like, this a quick bill is a separate item, but we still got to deal with this list of Jesus list. So let's deal with quick bill and get that out of the way now. You know, what else they got, and we'll get you. Trying to get the same resolved, line by line. I want to do that. Okay, does anyone have any questions about, first of all, we did receive this in the email, the quick bill. Is there any comments that anyone, okay, Jeanette, didn't you have any?
I had a quick comment.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Jeanette.
Mine isn't so much about the drawings and the markings. It's about the budget. We're being asked to approve this funding from the CRA funds.
Yeah.
Why isn't this coming from the city budget, from mobility?
This was a project that was already on the list that was left to us by Jesus.
Sorry.
So, Mr. Martinez again. So this is a from the list that Jesus had. This was one of the quick bills for the Main Street improvements. And the recommendations from the parking feasibility study that shows to have some of the recommendations came from the study. So this is a part of that, is my understanding. So as far as I know, that what was pending was for mobility to provide a budget for them to go and implement those items. And that's what we provided to you today.
I mean, I'm just wondering, because there's quick bill projects in other parts of the city.
Correct, yeah.
And I'm assuming the city is funding, this is kind of a master city project in different areas that I'm assuming the city budget is funding. I don't know, this is kind of a fine line.
So there's some of the master studies that have been done, and I would have to go back to mobility and find out. Unfortunately, staff that worked with this on mobility is on as well. So I'm trying to do some research of how it came about, but this is one of the projects that was in this, so I'm just kind of trying to implement it for the corporate.
Yeah, no,
Based on the, yeah,
I'm supportive of the project. I'm just thinking, why are we funding it? Because this is a city initiative throughout the city with these quick builds. Great thing, but shouldn't the city be funding it?
I would find out, once we go through the list of some, I have like 3 highlight projects that I want to go over tonight. And I know, I'm not sure what the answer is gonna be, so I'll get that from you.
Okay.
And then report back next month. That's fine.
So, on that.
Okay, anything else, Mr. Smith?
No, thank you.
All right, Mr. Ramirez.
That was my question as well. I thought when this was first introduced, I thought the city was doing this. They were just kind of letting us know.
Right.
FYI, we're gonna take care of this.
Yeah.
And it's gonna fall in line with your plans. So I think when I got the email earlier, I was wondering why, because this is not on our budget. I think usually whenever we do something, we immediately change the budget to make sure that we have line item for them. So that was my question too. So if we can get some clarity on that, that'd be great.
If you, and I'm sorry, but if you see the comments that Mrs. said, the last comment here was to issue a purchase order for this work. So for, I'm just, but I'd be more than happy to go back and find out.
That's fine.
And get clarification, that's
And
fine.
again, I'm for this project. I think we need it. I'm supportive of it. I had just one question regarding the parking spots that we have. It just says varies on the width. Another county's project that they have on Howard, south of the interstate, some of those parking spots are 7 feet wide and they're very tight. You park there, you open your car door, and you're gonna get ripped off because cars are gonna be coming really close to you. So I mean, it says final plans on here, but it might already be, looks like it's already signed sealed. So I don't know if there's something that could not have 7 or less, so we could have minimum of 8, even 7.5 feet wide parking spots that would, I know standard tables.
Yep, I'll definitely check and see if there is room to go back to the plan with modification.
Okay.
I have a question in regards to, it looks like you guys are recommending parking, spaces be added between Oregon and Willow where there currently are no parking spots.
They look, some of them are new, are gonna be brand new,
Then,
on free parking.
because there's been issues with, like, from Oregon all the way down to North Boulevard, there was no parking sign. When then, between Willow and Oregon, when they built those new apartments, again, the signs went away and people started parking. That's created issues with people trying to pull out and almost false accidents.
Okay,
So it seems like you guys want to take that parking all the way down to further down on Main Point or North Boulevard. I'll be advocating against that because it's going to create I don't know if you guys, because there's currently no parking signs there now. I'm thinking adding parking there is going to be adding that issue.
okay, so why don't we do this? Because it seems to be that I thought this was moved, you guys had already reviewed it, it was okay, and we just wait for an estimate. It doesn't seem to be the case, so why don't we just step back and maybe review the plans and bring us your comments about the parking size, the location of the parking, and then we have to go back like to mobility to kind of have them revise the plans and the recommendations.
Yeah.
Anything else, Mr. Wilson?
No,
Correct.
that's like.
Then one last part of time in. Listen, I don't remember seeing no draft of quick deal. All I see now is sign civil set of plan. Do you remember seeing this? Did they ever submit this to us to look at these plans? You all remember that?
I don't think I've seen.
All right.
It looks like mobility came in, according to the notes that the students left, it says that mobility had come in and presented, and I think it was one of the
There's one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The agenda.
So,
But I'm saying, but them swings it back to the center. I'm an engineer, PE, like he is, just like his man said, okay? When you present something, it means bring me a piece of paper where I can look at it, not just come in here and get verbal. See, we're getting away from verbals from the city. Now let me throw it away. We ain't taking verbals in here. We want a piece of paper so that we can make a comment on. So I think this is the first time I've seen a piece of paper laying the whole streetscape out from head to toe. So they could have brought this in at 6% submittal. They could have brought this in at 90%. Okay, this is 100% because it's signed and sealed. So what I'm saying is, you see that people are reacting. So my first thing is that I'm all for the project. However, here's some realistic issues with it. Bobby said something about how you try to come out of Oregon and you're gonna get hit because those people are supposed to be, they really ain't supposed to be parking on that, but they're parking on that. And now that they're parking on there, you try to come out that intersection with Rome at, and then they're putting, I think that's gonna be a town center that they're building there right now, where that oak tree at, on Oregon. And when you try to come out of Oregon from Ricks, whatever, you got to start to creep back. And then if you don't watch, somebody's making a right turn because the cars are blocking you, you have no line of sight to see something oncoming. Unless they had them cars parked back another 100 and some feet back from Oregon. So it's a blind spot. And when people coming down that street and make that right turn, you inching out the, to try to see, next thing, there'll be some accidents there, quite sure there. That's the first thing, plus that's where the bus stop and let the children off. If you ever been there when they let children out, that bus stop right there, and they get off and start walking through the apartments. The other thing is, when I looked at it, there's an issue. Mr. Brazil, you might know about this. Okay, solid waste pickup. You're not putting, we don't have any room in the alley on Main, between Green and Main is alley. And Bay Cannon Brewer brought this to everybody's attention that, he tried to put one of them bins back there. You can't go down the alley to even get it like it. So a lot of people are gonna be ending up putting their garbage on the front. So now if you got cars parking on the front of the street, because you got all these parking spaces on Main, how they gonna have the garbage person sneak in there to pass a car and pick up that? But that's an issue. So some way the building needs to take a look at solid waste, right, Mr. Brazil?
And I will say,
I'm gonna let you the flow, go ahead.
so I will say that this is a problem because it's two problems that need to be solved. Yes, we need parking, but this is where the different hands of downtown stop seeing what the other one was doing. When people come in and we're trying to invite businesses into the area, the idea is not to make it tougher for them to open. But inevitably what happens is you make it tougher for them to open because in one department you say, oh, we've got parking there. Well, no, you have to have trash put up, solid waste. Oh, we made the trucks too big, so we can't go down the alleyway anymore. So what that happens is you just have business owners circling the drain, trying to get the doors open, trying to get permits, and nothing happens month after month after month after month. And that's the frustrating part. So unintended consequences, you have to look down, which is why bringing it to our group so we can talk about these things because, I try to sit here as an advocate for the business community. There's a lot of neighborhood groups here, but there's not really a commercial advocate. So I try to be an advocate for the business community. These are the things that I'm hearing back from people, the difficulties they're having getting their businesses open in West Tampa. And so if everybody gets together and figures out the best way to approach it, so it doesn't infringe on neighborhood folks, and we can, still get the trash picked up, the city departments have to talk to each other in order to organize this. That's essential.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Ramirez.
I don't think we met in December.
Yes, we did.
And if we would have met, it would have been on the fourth week.
It's not even that case, so I'm mad.
So what I'm thinking is maybe the city had one of those online presentations where they presented it to whoever was
The
online.
buck stops here, right? We both on. Somebody go. So,
They just said.
well, no, you know what? I appreciate you bringing it up and getting it moving. That's what I like. Because even though we may not go forward with it right
It's
now,
fine, yeah.
we just love the fact that you're digging this stuff up. We got some drawings here. We know what the right hand doing. We know we're gonna get the left hand coordinated with it. So you heard our, is anyone ready to come? You heard our comments?
One more.
Okay, go ahead.
We got, we look at this, think about like the streetcar coming down Main Street. So eventually we will be advocating for that.
Okay,
So think about that, like, we're looking at the whole thing, like, hey, with the streetcar comes back down Main Street and then that.
And then also they need to understand that there's a Main Street commercial corridor. Okay, study, right? They have to talk about planners and bump outs and this and that. So mobility needs to really, see what happened is this and that, you're right. They put the quick build west of Ramita.
Mhm.
Do you get right? That's quick build. So they wanted to send it this way, and they wanted, they just throwing money left and right? So they say, well, y'all want it, so y'all want it now. Well, my thing is that we have not really developed our streetscape, at least right there between Main and Albany yet, to be definitive on what we want to do. For parking, because that study talking about possible garage somewhere. And so this all needs to be coordinated, like Mr. Messiah said. I know you guys want to get this done and say, hey, we got this going in West Campus, that's great. We don't have a problem, but it needs a little bit more coordination between solid waste, the potential street car coming back, let alone a bicycle coming down the street. I mean, you got all that party, they don't bike lane, right? This and that, right? They go around. So I'm just saying, they think about that seriously about the real mobility issue of the parking that impacts solid waste from businesses that have no alley pickup. That probably not gonna be putting stuff in the alley to be picked up, because even if they did, the truck got to go down there and too big with that farm on it. And I see it even happen in residential, but when residents are putting that garbage on the, it's an issue, but I gotta get in there, and so most people on that day they come in, don't put your car there, at least put a can somewhere where they can get it, right? So that's one thing, but definitely commercial, and I knew Fred Cannon was one of the main ones with that. And then the other comments that you heard from us, and the fact that we got an estimate now of what this is, okay, but it was not, as our chairman actually said, in the budget. So if we don't see it in this budget, then how did we ever get it over here for us to vote for it to go to the board? And so that's something too, is that, if it hasn't been budgeted, we appreciate a number now so we can get it in the budget if we're gonna support it. And I don't have an issue about the city doing it or we doing it. I just think that if it's something good, we must get it done. Because we want to show people some progress. So that's all I got. But so the notes will reflect our comments, Mr. Thoreau. And so I'm not feeling that people want to vote this up or down tonight. I think they want to come back as soon as possible. And then we can take it from Mr. Ramirez. We'll move on.
Two things before we move on. I think this is the precursor to the Complete Streets project that we're thinking about, all have in our heads. So this is gonna set it up for when the big Complete Street project comes, they'll do the big things. However, we do have to take into account solid waste and safety as well. But yeah, this is just thermo and signs.
I should have said a little phasing to just sort of.
Correct.
I got you. Love order, I love order. Love order right on the street. I got you.
Second, what we're talking about, it looks like we're gonna have less thermo, so the price is gonna go down. I know you all want to see the changes, and this is the first time we're doing it. I'm a big proponent of transportation, as you guys know, and a big proponent of safety. So pending these changes that we've discussed today, I make a motion to set aside $300,000 in the budget for this project.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, set aside, how much was Ramirez?
300,000, since the budget was too.
Okay, okay, is there any discussion? Mrs. Spirit?
Well, I'm just going back to my original concern about the funding, not because I'm necessarily opposed to it, but are we not striding the line with the city supposed to fund basic things, and we're not supposed to have it come out of the CRA just because a project is located in the CRA? That's my, do we need to get a legal view on this, or?
Was that your comment?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, this last bit. There's a motion on the floor in the second, okay? We didn't wait for the city for Ray Park. We ain't waiting for the city of South Stevens Park, and I ain't waiting on the city, because by the time we wait on the city and the politics that I guarantee you it will take to get anything done, it'll be another 5 years. So we have funds that are qualified for infrastructure, and we say we want to have something done in our community, and the city can jump Judy because we put our money there, then I'm all for it. And all we're doing is just putting it in the budget. Because
Yeah, no, I think it's good to put it in the budget so it's there as a placeholder. But again, I'm just questioning, and remember, yes, Ray Park and South Sea, but again, those are clearly above and beyond enhancements, which is what the CRA is intended for. This is part of a more basic program that's citywide. That's the only reason I'm questioning it. I'm for the project. I just, and you set a precedent. When you start doing this, then, you know, they start, oh, it's in the CRA, let them fund it, you know?
Well,
That's my
We're
only.
rewarding them for not getting done, right?
well, the main thing is the people want to see something going on, and I don't understand, okay, anything else?
Well, and we could justify it if we wanted to, just by saying, well, we want to speed it up, so that's why we're funding it, because we want it to happen sooner rather than later. So that's our,
And I think that's part of it.
that's
why
our,
it's called
I don't want to say out, but that's our way of,
All right.
if we really.
Anything, anyone else? Anything else, Mr. Smith?
No, I'm.
Anyone else have anything? Mr. Jones?
No.
Okay, anyone else has any comments? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. It's in the budget. Well, the budget we're gonna come up with tonight, right? Okay, that's it on quick, Bill. Thank you very much. That takes us to,
So, there was a few projects that we were gonna focus on before any questions. The second one being of.
wait a minute.
Get to there.
Wait a minute. We've gone through on children, that could be.
The staff report.
All right, so on the salary staff, of course, that would be under the criminal floor.
Correct. Well, we're. Okay. So, when the agenda is flowing, we'll move into our projects team report. So the reason you had a special presentation for the quick build is because they wanted a motion. They were looking for some kind of action in there. Now we'll have a project team report
Okay.
and we'll hand it over to.
I like, so we're trying to team report back to, okay, back to Nick.
Back to Nick.
Yeah. All right, you got it. But we did, they take some action, we had most to put it in, but, all right. Move right along.
All right, hello again. So, the next project, that we wanted to focus on today is the park at 2102 West Main Street. I wanted to invite Bryce, Behringer, our new, planner back up to talk about, project progress and the pending land use map.
That's item 2 on the, list. Three, okay, three, that's about, yeah.
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. And I'll be having this call, as well as introduce me earlier. My name is Bryce Behringer. Before I started with the Tampa CRA, I was working for the Hillsborough County Planning Commission, doing all kinds of long-range planning initiatives, policy updates, things of that sort. To provide an update on this particular item, we are in the process of filing an application for a comprehensive plan amendment to change the future land use designation for that site. Right now, it's designated as commercial, community commercial 35, which allows for a pretty wide range of different commercial options right along that Main Street corridor. We're applying to change that designation to recreation open space. That way, once that park is enhanced, it can be preserved for a long-term basis in the future. So right now, in terms of dates, we're going to go ahead and get that application filed by the May 1st deadline. It will go to the planning commission for briefing on July 8th. The first actual public hearing where the planning commission will offer its recommendations will occur on August 12th. And then after that, it will go to Tampa City Council for either official approval or denial. And that date is still up in the air. They haven't scheduled it yet, but ideally it'll be either late July or late August or early September, excuse me. So that's the update on that one. And I believe there's an environmental study. happening
Yeah,
on
that's
that
just
site right now. So,
Yeah, we're going.
yeah. But that's currently the update for the project.
Okay, let's take them one at a time. Is there any questions on, the property at 2101 West Main Street?
When would they start?
What, Mr. Bobby? Mr. Brazil had his hand up first.
The 21, is a land use change required? I mean, can this not just be this is a downgrade in intensity for usage. So why would it require a full land use change and a zoning change to stall that for that much longer? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, this could be like
That's the requests and instructions that I received from this body. The last couple of times I've been receiving, it has to be like that.
Because we don't want it to be developed for anything but a park. That was part of the deal that Brett said that we would do. And people been talking about, well, we can make it a building, we can do this. But the intent is to make that and keep that apart, and the way you do it is you put it, change it from CM35, which means you don't have to have a park, which will be the zoning if we don't change it, but if you make it residential open space, then it's ever, always gonna be a park.
But we could do that to deed restrictions and not.
Well, yeah, but the city chose to do it this way, okay? Because it's not owned by anybody privately, it's owned by the city. It's government property. They're the ones making the call, we don't even own it, we bought it, we don't own it. That's why. But I think they're moving pretty fast, we've got somebody working on it. We've been asking for them to get it to the planning commission for at least several months. And they're here today because we got this new way to get stuff done, and I think they're listening.
And just to provide some context, the zoning on that site, CI, it does allow for parks. CC 35 also allows for consideration of parks. But like the chair mentioned, the direction that we had received was that, you know, the CAC wanted to preserve it long term. And so that recreation open space category will allow us to do that.
Can that also be done with the deed restriction though?
The deed restriction,
I don't know about
I would have to double check and see. And I can answer any more questions.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
okay, so you noted that the environmental assessment will be completed in July. When will the remediation start? When that be completed?
So right now, what they're doing is the testing. I should be getting a third report because they found additional, thank you, for the word contamination on the south portion of the land. I just got an email today about it. I have an RFP that is supposed to be going out. I'm waiting for purchasing and for legal approval to be able to send that out to get a subcontractor to then remove the fill soil, the contaminated soil, and replace it with a clean one. But I'm waiting, supposedly the remediation, part of the testing and remediation should be done by July.
So the testing and remediation.
Well, remediation will be the removal of the soil, so I need to have a company in place.
Okay, so the reason for my question is like,
Mhm.
when we'll be able to bring down the fence to have people access? That was the biggest issue.
No, but it ain't gonna happen. This ain't gonna happen because,
We know we worked through the land agreement, like, but, so go ahead.
Okay, so
yeah, it's great because once you remediate it, it ain't gonna be open back up to the public, because there's gonna be no trees.
we need to decide the park. We need to figure out what kind of park they're gonna have after that, because once they do their remediation and they replace it, there's not, it's just gonna be dirt.
They're not
There's
gonna
not gonna be
plant
trees,
grass.
nothing. Sorry?
They're gonna plant grass.
They're not gonna do anything with it, because we're hearing, I'm trying to do, once we get the RFP out for the removal of soil, I wanna start working on the scope of work for the RFP for the design of this passive park, to find out what we're gonna do on it.
I have concerns with that, like, if we just don't have dirt, then that's creating a dust storm. Like, for people who have, health issues. I mean, like, the contamination is gonna be cleaned up, but still, you have a dirt lot. And it's gonna be cleaned
I
up.
don't think,
At a minimum, we should be able to put some.
it's not gonna be a dirt lot. The city would have to put cover on it because of the stormwater runoff. Else they'd have to have bales around it, okay?
So what I can add, because I'm still waiting for the RFP to go out, I can still add to the scope of work, and I can add them to add grass.
Yeah.
Just have grass on it.
Just grass.
That's fine. I can do that.
Because all the
It's fine.
trees, all the benches, they're gonna be gone,
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be a grass lot, I mean, so.
Correct.
that we can use for having,
Events.
events.
Yeah.
Well, until we get to that.
Until we get the time. So it's a useful lot with grass.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Lorel? Mr. Wilson, anything else?
I have a question. How do you split this as investment? How big is it?
About 10,000 square feet. I believe it's 0.22 acres.
2 acres?
That ain't enough.
It's like roughly 100 by 100.
Yeah. Yeah, it's right the corner of Main and
Okay,
Main and Albany.
Albany.
Right across
So it's
from
100 by
the-
100. That's not,
It's small.
It's our domino part. Okay.
What's right?
thank you.
Well, there's one final question.
Was Ms. Maloney, were you through?
Yes, I am.
Okay, go ahead, now let's proceed.
And we're just making sure that this is gonna run concurrently with everything they're doing for planning, correct? We're not waiting for planning before this stuff starts or vice versa.
I'm trying to make sure that once the RFP goes out for the the removal, for the snow removal, then I started working on the scope of work. He already have assigned to start working on scope of work for doing, start to design. Because you have to work
What
with.
is saying, it's a parallel effort, you want.
Wait, I'm trying to, yeah,
Zone changes going forward, the plan, land use.
yeah, yeah.
That you still want the remediation,
Correct.
so that we can get the grass on it, and then the grass is on it, and you can still, just come down, baby. And then you still plan what we're gonna do at the park, it's like the great park, and get somebody to sign it. So we don't wanna have to wait till this phase is finished, we want to.
Continue. I'm trying to get everything continuous one after the other. Yeah.
Is that good enough, Mr. Wilson?
I get my grants, I'm happy.
Now you wanna know what kind of grass?
I-
you get? All right, good. Okay. Anything else, if the folks on that? If that is on that budget, Mr. Ramirez, yes.
I think we need to treat this as a project with lots of eyes on it. We've already had the community come and complain that we're closing these areas that they used to use. I think we need to take that into account and make sure that, our efforts for public outreach are done. That way everybody knows what the process is and what's going on, and not for just now leaving a dirt lot or a grass empty lot and then come back and close it again when we're done. We want everybody to know, hey, this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna clean it up, we're gonna put some grass there, it's gonna be there for a little bit until we design it, and then we're gonna come back and do the next part of it. I think that needs to be said to me.
Yeah, that's the three parts.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, anything else? If not, we're gonna move on to the next. Just moving on.
I mean, doesn't it make sense to decide what you're gonna use it for before you remediate? I mean, doesn't that affect the type, the level of remediation that, whether it's encapsulated or?
No,
No.
the soil is contaminated and it's got to be removed, regardless of what you put on it. It's got to be this. The reason is, I don't want to say this in public, but I'm gonna say it, it's a liability to the city. There's somebody going over there now that been going to that park, come up with cancer, said, I think you show a nexus that they got from going to that park, I touched the dirt, put my eye, now I got cancer, the city liable, but they own it now. That's why we put the fence around
That's
it.
why they fixed it.
Exactly, well, that's why we put the fence around to keep people off of it, and then the other reason is so that we can do the remediation. Okay. All right, moving on, is there any other next project? Is that it?
That's, no, we want to do the three one. We have one more and then we want to
Okay,
do
what number you do, okay.
So this would be number 5, the last project staff wanted to focus on was the Fremont Avenue Street opening. So.
Opening or not is what the question is.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
All right.
So, we met with mobility, out of our meeting with mobility, we built a communication and outreach plan for some data collection in areas regarding, input on the benefit of opening and the appetite of opening or not opening that park. Obviously, West Palmetto, West Cherry, West Pine, and West, Walnut along Fremont. So the outreach plan and mailers and engagement page is going to provide a survey for the entire neighborhood. Again, those mail outs are going to be going out and set to launch next Monday. Next Monday and run 30 days through May 28th. So whatever we get back from those surveys, we are going to report back on the June 18th CAC meeting with all the inputs, feedback, and concerns that we received. And I do have copies of that mailer if you'd like to see.
Okay, okay, so that's somebody left over here. Ms. Malone.
No, just I'd like to see the mailer.
Okay, and then where is that going to?
That is going to go to the mailing distro that we've established with SD Parks, for this district.
For West Ham?
For West Hampton, yes, sir.
Okay, so I don't get that in our mailbox, so is that gonna be, how's that, is that we mailed out, emailed?
It's gonna be mailed out.
So I'm gonna get this letter in the mail. For this survey.
Yes.
And I have to do what, fill it out, mail it back?
So you'll see here, there is a QR code, that connects you to the Engage page and the online survey.
So if I'm a person without a computer or phone, I'm helpless with the server. If I'm an old senior, I don't have no way to deal with that.
So I believe when we had met with B, she said that these are going to be accessible to fill out and that will make them available to anyone that needs them in a different form.
Yeah, but this can't understand this going on like that. I'm just showing you how stuff goes, lower from that, okay? Everybody ain't got no phone, everybody ain't got no computer, and everybody ain't good at doing that.
I think you do have a phone number here.
They got a phone number?
Yeah.
877-274, call.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so this is gonna go out and you're gonna get this and you're not, now, does this go out to the, what about fire now? I'm over that, go ahead, Mr. Joe.
That's what.
Yeah, about the fire department and the state police department, they don't want to hold us up for that in a year.
As far as them receiving the,
As far as their input as the opening and closing of it. The fire department said they can't take the engine down with the house on fire right at the end of that cul-de-sac going on. There was walnuts burned to the ground. And they got down there and they were sort of like caught, you know. Cause you can't back, you know, you take the engine down there, it's hard to turn around, ladder truck, you know, big trucks they got. And so, you know, one of the issues is emergency. You know, somebody having a heart attack, how you get down there, okay, get down at the cul-de-sac. Got me? So we, and, because the original reason they were closed because of carjackings in the 80s. Carjacking. You could carjack on Dale Neighbor and be on down by the road in less than 20 minutes. And they didn't stop at no stop sign on Million, Howard, Fremont, or Neck to check it. So they said, let's stop the carjacking people, like, because most of the carjacking were people that were staying down in the public house. So they steal the cars, come down and drop them. That's what was happening. So they put up that and sort of slowed it down and times change. People are changing, neighborhoods change. So the question has been, is police department and the fire department have any comments? I hate that us say, yeah, we want to open them, and we all for it, and then they come back, oh, we ain't for it. So we need to get everybody on board up front and get this over with. Get this over with. They may say they want to keep them closed, we may say we want to keep them open. So we're gonna make a call. We just gonna make a call, get it over with. Okay? And the other thing is that, down on that end, if there's any development, we need to take consideration about that, because I know with Rome Yard, that's a little farther north of this, which might want to make sure, because I know they're going to be doing some major mobility improvements on Rome Avenue. The major stuff on, because they got to have the neighborhood, you know, advocated from as far as developability. That's just my comments on it. So just make sure we got fire, life safety, fire, police. Yes, Mr. Sanchez.
Yes, I have a problem with the mailer. And this is a blighted area. And we've been trying to get free Wi-Fi for this neighborhood forever because of the lack of communication. When you send something in like this, you're gonna get a very, very low return. I just letting you know, that's the reality of it. And the QR code is nice for those of us who happen to be at least a little bit techy, but there are a lot of people who don't understand what it's for. So it seems to me you could at least put in a line or, you know, send us your comments to such and such. Maybe that might help. But it's just a little bit too sophisticated for the neighborhood, is my opinion.
yeah, there is room to modify that with communications and with Miss B. That's why we wanted to present this now, launch it next Monday. There's time to make sure.
It's like some of their cards, you know, it's just like the card they did to give us all the other stuff. I don't know, I know, and the front side is small, you know, the front side on the front, that little small stuff on the front there.
I would say add the link, the URL link, because not everyone has a smartphone for the code to work. So, yes.
Yes.
You could have a mailing address to send your comments.
Yeah.
You do have a phone number.
Yeah, the phone number, yeah.
Okay, Ms. Penn,
I'm sorry, did I hear that it's in Spanish as well? I didn't
I didn't hear that at all.
No, the it is a requirement to have in Spanish. And I'm not saying that it's or not, I just don't, I'm not familiar with the.
Well,
with it. I mean, I don't mind to put in
it
Spanish.
would be good to either
to have that.
have it both or have some instruction if they need it, you know, we want,
Okay. That's okay.
because yeah.
Yeah, it's the birthday, but yeah.
Yeah. Any more comments on the ballot card? On once, twice? Okay,
Can I address your comment?
yes, okay.
So you had that question at a previous meeting about police department and the fire department. I already, and I provided information. There was a meeting that took place. I have the notes from the meeting and they were present and they had no issue. The meeting that we had was with mobility to try to figure out if mobility had some kind of outreach program or process for the community. They didn't have any, so that's why we're looking at this.
Can
They
you
don't-
get that piece of paper over to Ms. Brennan that?
Yes,
look at
sure.
For the record, so we can swash this, so this.
I think the students had the
I think you
meeting.
said that before.
Mhm.
But it ain't been coded, it has not been put in the record.
Okay,
So we need that piece of paper saying the fire. So what I'm hearing now, Ms. Brenda, fire and police don't have a problem with us opening up the street. That's what I just heard.
correct. That's what I have.
Thank you, Jesus. Okay, any more? Okay, let's move on. Let's go.
Is it, meeting the stakeholders?
Scheduled for 2/26/24.
I'm sorry?
They asked a question on this. It says, meeting with stakeholders scheduled 2/26 from the discuss process for reopening the roads. They were asking, is that the meeting?
That was a meeting with, I'm sorry, that was what meeting with mobility. To find out whether they were gonna put any funds in. I'm sorry, that was a meeting that we had with mobility, which is one of the stakeholders. Because to find out whether they had any openings on their program to open and pay for the opening of the roads. They said they didn't have any funds and it was not on their map at all. And then we also requested, we wanted to find out whether they had any kind of community outreach programs to reopen roads in mobility, because we didn't have one. They say they didn't have any, so then we are kind of making this program as a program to do the outreach, the community
Let
outreach.
me just add, let me just spoil it and let's do it. I understand when you open back up that this still be living part. Okay, we probably need to, but there's still gonna be a part. And then what happens is it may open up, what do we do with that land between two streets, Sam?
Yeah, we need like the green space.
That's more green space, huh?
Yeah.
All right, but we'll see, some people say fill it in with some people so they can watch, others say do like green space, we'll get that, but let's get streets open, whatever we're gonna do, and then we'll go from there. Okay, all right, we get somewhere, I'm running, so any other projects on this? If, you guys wanna bring up to our attention?
That was it.
And anybody got any project that, the only thing you see we get now, let me just say this, when we talking about projects. Yes, Ms. Benton.
No, you go ahead after you.
The street out there get paid, finally, slowly, but they're doing it. However, it's not on here because it's not coordinate this, representation to this in a minute. And the trees, need to be trimmed, man. The palm trees. So when are we gonna get that done, Ms. Martinez? Can you talk to the county or somebody that's trimming them trees?
So I had a conversation with Andrea, Rosehaven,
Yeah.
that she just, so to try to get some of the history of the district and some of the projects. She gave me the contact information. I think she had already contacted, the county, and they, as long as we follow their guidelines, they pretty much didn't care that we went on the road and cut the trees.
That's in the budget.
But I have to contact that person again, because I think that was done last year, so I just need to get back and make sure.
Get Parks and Recs out there and start trimming them trees.
Well, I think,
That's what.
I don't know if there's a program for landscape, landscape.
Trim trees, because they have a program, police said, if you got a tree, they can get somebody to come, if it was an issue, remember? So Parks and Recs use to trim trees.
Correct. And I think we can give that recommendation to do that.
And we got in our
It's a
budget,
maintenance issue, right?
yeah, so maybe since we ain't in that 10 years. So we're trying to, if you got the street looking nice, right, that, they ain't done yet. But then if we get our trees, when you ride down Howard, it at least look somewhat beautified. And some of the trees need to be completely gone, because they're growing into the buildings. So it's a case by case. Me and Jesus walked all up and down that street. I can show you the pictures I took of every section all the way from the interstate to Columbus Drive on both sides with a city official that's supposed to be cutting trees. That was like 2 years ago. And we gave them the pictures and identified every tree, including the oaks down here that's in the wires, as you get down towards St. Joseph. Miss Brenda. Yes, ma'am, Mr. Sanchez.
This Thursday at the Tampa City Council meeting, there are two items on the agenda having to do with trees. One of them is what to do with the $1 million worth of trees that we're getting and where to put them. The other one is make sure that people that are chopping down trees are getting fined accordingly. It should be interesting if they don't have anywhere to put those trees, that we might suggest that they put them on Howard, you know, to help. I mean, if they're trying, because my understanding is like, for example, at the Beaver Brothers Park, we've already nixed any additional trees because we want that open space. We like to have intramural sports there. So they're looking for places to put trees. So I suggest that we pay attention to that city council meeting and see if it's something that we can utilize for our benefit.
So, but let's get the trees, make them the ones that sit down, and the ones that's no longer valuable, get rid of. Maybe then we can throw them to something else, but that's a whole nother story. Down the road, I see a streetscapes and the one of these professionals you got. So when you come off that interstate and you see that nice sunset, Sunset Park to the right, and you just go down, and by the time you get to Howard, you just gonna be filling the whole street, right? I mean, to Columbus Drive. But anyway, let's move on. Yes, this is for the trip.
I like this list very much. Thank you. My question is, how are we going to go about getting new projects on this list? Because, for instance, we have the parking implementation study, the parking study completed. Well, now there's, gosh, tons of projects in that parking study that now need to be implemented. So we're gonna.
Well, what we're gonna do first is we're gonna take Jesus list and this list and say what needs to go. We need to get away from Jesus list. We have one unified list, and this is it, the beginning of it. So we're gonna find out tonight, hopefully, how we transfer from Jesus list to this list. And then as we do that transfer, then we'll be able, because one thing we need to do is we need to know what projects are closed out. Because some are closed out,
Yeah.
some not closed, they like in transition to be closed, like that parking study that's done to a certain phase. It says complete. It says completed. That phase is completed. Parking study was done. So they said it's completed, so, but it's still on the list. And I'm a firm believer in keeping stuff on the list, because that way you don't forget you done that.
Exactly.
If new people come in there and say, we all ain't done that with parking, okay, so I'm about keeping stuff on the list, but get the list bigger.
Right, because then we're gonna have to start picking projects from that
Correct.
study.
And not only that, we got projects that we're approving here on the budget that ain't even
Well,
on there.
right, and even before that, before we do the parking, we gotta do the Main Street beautification.
Exactly.
So,
So when we do it, is we make a motion, put it on this. The same thing when we get done. We
well,
just say,
no, I know that, but there needs to be some debate
We'll be debating on it on this.
Can I make a comment for a second?
Yeah.
So, you recommended last time, because I was gonna take this out of the list, and you said to just leave it in to make sure that we remember that we have the study that we completed. So you
Right.
see on the update, the recommendation project list is what we're trying to add to it as projects. Even though they're gonna be like their own line item, it's also gonna be what's gonna be tied into the parking study.
yes.
The other thing is make sure that when you check in on Jesus list, this is just projects. These are not programs and these are not grants. So make sure that
We got commercial programs, we got resident, we ain't got that yet, but we go, that's what we're gonna do.
Correct.
If we go on the list, then that's where I'm hoping somebody up in the city and say, well, Joe, that we, cause see, we don't know what y'all did. We was the ones that reorganized the CRA approach to projects by moving them to grants and the capital projects. So somebody need to be here when we go down these lists and say, well, that's considered to be a grant. Then where is that list at? Where is that list at? This is just, see, this is the slate.
Mine is just yes, it's
Exactly.
capital improvement
But
project. That's
the name, because this says salary project 7 project. So what specific are you calling it?
These are the construction projects.
Then that
Let's just put it, you want me to put construction project?
Because when you say salary project, it's not all.
Well, because some of the stuff in here is not a construction yet, it's in the planning stage, but it'll be a project, but still.
The CRA.
What do you want us to do?
We moving to salary construction.
CAC?
I mean, it could be preliminary construction, it could be planning, but we need to come up with that because this is.
If you, Chairman, let's tie it to the budget. So it's called infrastructure and capital projects under budget. So when we get the infrastructure and capital projects, there is another category.
Infrastructure, hold on. And capital projects.
Correct.
Okay, that's what the list is gonna be. Thank you, Jeanette. What else you got down there, Jeanette?
I will revise the name.
I'll abstain until we go through the HASU
Okay.
project list and.
Let's, where we at on the agenda? We're at the budget.
So you're right to back it.
So y'all want to do the budget now? We probably don't say patients list.
One item that was not on this list that I want to touch right now. I know a couple of months ago, we made a motion to start the decal program based on the traffic. I didn't see that on the list.
The what now?
The parking decal, the residential parking. decal.
Residential.
Oh,
I don't know if that falls under.
They won't follow me.
So what that is, there's a recommendation that it's a parking program. It's not a CRA program, it's a parking program for a neighborhood. And there's a process with them for a neighborhood to receive that program. What we can do is then y'all make a, you have interest in whatever neighborhoods that do that, we can have parking for that neighborhood.
Okay.
But it's not something we would fund because
I
it's,
understand.
but it's a great recommendation for something to take place.
I understand. I just haven't seen an update on that.
What update would you like?
Well, you ran a recommendation and you said they were looking into it and they will get back to us, so if we have a
So
date.
who needs to get back to who? This is what I didn't understand.
The meeting, remember we had a meeting with parking.
Oh,
You probably
right.
didn't get back to me.
So I was gonna invite parking, which they'll maybe come to this meeting like maybe next month or.
Okay.
And then
So we have
planning
a date
process. Yes,
So
What's that?
So it's gonna be May or is it gonna be June?
I can ask, which
Okay.
y'all let me know.
Yes.
I'll put it on the list.
No,
Future meeting.
I understand.
But we want to make sure it's
My
not this on
my
like.
understanding was that they were already starting these conversations. So what I want to know is when are they gonna come, let us know what's going on? That's all.
And they want to be, we may, see, that's been brought up in respect that. I hate this, okay, half, okay, Old West County, okay, Westbrook, listen. I think the general consensus is that the West Tampa CRA boundary representatives want a parking decal program.
Right.
And that's what I heard us say that we got the individual, I don't think so, I think that we get creative to the city, look. Why we gonna do that? Let's just say the CRA one decal program, we all agree, we represent. Because it's gonna become an issue with all the houses being built.
I just want a way that we can keep tabs on it because I don't want it to fall in the cracks.
Okay,
Yeah, that's fine.
Distraction.
Just so you know, from what our conversation was with parking, it is something that the neighborhood has to request.
the neighborhood.
Y'all are mixed of neighborhoods.
So come in here and we're gonna tell them, now we're gonna get creative because we're not gonna play that game because we'll be all night. You got 8 neighborhoods in there. And that means we can't even talk to each other because of the sunshine. And we're the leadership for those individual neighborhoods. That's why it says Old West Tampa, North Hyde Park. And we found out that that list of neighborhoods don't even include us nonprofits. So to say that we got the individual to do that through the neighborhood organization, that what you saying, I don't hear parking tell me it can't be done all at one time.
You want a district-wide?
I want to see already, yeah.
I'll do this. Let me. So let me have them do a presentation so they can explain.
But tell them to see that we're interested in doing a district-wide, decal program.
For the recommendation of the parking.
For the recommendation for the parking study, we paid all that money for.
But of us have been to the parking presentations. And it is important because they do give you options, for example, the decals. So that's what basically we're trying to say. We want to know is a group what are the options within the CRA for all the same options that they have given other neighborhoods. You know, that's what we wanted, just an explanation of some options.
There's no, this is what's going on.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because what's really fun is heavily impacted. Matter of fact, we're going to send a letter down to the Lord's office. Because, you know, the overflows of the long.
Sorry, we are speaking, that's the mic, I'm sorry, I can't hear the Jones, you know, thank you.
So that's a very important component, because we really need that in our area, Westminster Park. Because we're impacted by Westminster Park. And you believe the noise and all the things that we get. So we need to be treated like every other neighborhood, and they do best for real, and they should, they do the right things for them, so we need to do the same for us.
Ms. Maloney.
I was just wondering about, I thought we talked about a parking garage being built. I mean,
Or
for
something else.
that's another
That's what I'm saying. That's the.
parking study.
Yes.
And wasn't it recommended that we need additional parking, right? And that one of the ways that, and to support the businesses that we want. I mean, this quick build project on Main Street is not enough parking. And it's gonna interfere with the view of businesses, sightlines and.
So you're saying you want to add from the parking study, the move, to have them identify that, the parking garage structure down the Central Court. That's what I just heard.
What I remember from the study, it was a stepped approach. So we're kind of going straight to step 5. I think we need to revisit that study and see what the recommendations were. I know it was setting it up because building a parking structure is expensive and it comes with maintenance. So we have to build a way where we can pay for that maintenance. And I believe it was adding, the way the study had it was adding certain portions where it's heavily commercial, some kind of toll or something like that.
Yeah.
And now, and create a,
But what she's saying is this, if we don't do something now and put it on the list, it ain't gonna happen.
yeah, we could put it on the list now.
That's what I'm getting at, the
I'm
track.
just reminding the committee that there were steps before.
Yes, I understand.
It was a tiered,
It
that
was a
parking
tiered.
study had recommendations and they were logically
Correct.
formatted as to what should come first, what should come
And
second.
that was the scope. we
So
gave.
that, I agree with Carlos, we need to revisit it and then start pulling things that are the first priority to put on the
I
list.
think Quickville was the case. That was starting that, get some more on down Main Street.
Yeah, you definitely want to start with low hanging fruit.
All right, so then what does that put that?
Okay, I'm number 2 on the quick build than that, because I think we're all getting impacted with free parking, but it's becoming less and less.
Mr. Brewster, I defer to you, speaking commercial land with businesses at the parking garage and imminent need, is it something that we could pay?
Based on the parking study, there's a shortage of parking that we have yet to find a way to fill. And we still have vacant lots throughout the CRA that can't be used for parking because of zoning issues and so forth. So I know that it would benefit greatly. I think Ybor has benefited from parking garages more than they didn't have them. And it also took a little bit of pressure off of the Stratton residential. So I think it would benefit greatly.
And these people are getting rid of surface parking lots left and right. Because of the activity they bring, unregulated, someone put in there without being a big issue of them. So let's just make sure, Mrs. Martinez, let's make sure that somewhere on this chart it say parking garage. Future.
Okay. I mean, I don't want to put something in here that is not ongoing, but
You guys are gonna be talking about budgets, so you something that's.
So this is how,
Recommended.
my recommendation to approach this is to go through the budget. And the way things get done, it's got to be number one in the plan. Okay, it's number two in the budget. And then we can get forward. So if you want to identify parking garages, for instance,
But no, it's been identified from the partner study, that's all been.
but it's not in the budget yet.
We're not really talking about budget yet, but it's probably gonna get there.
But that's how you get it on the list.
I have,
Get
what
it
I'm
on
gonna
the
do is
list
I'm gonna
by-
add it
by
on the number
time.
7.
So.
Prioritize it.
If something's not in the budget, it's not on the list.
You want to prioritize it.
So, number, this is the way we do for the recommendation from the parking study specifically. So number 7, under the updates, I'm gonna start listing the wish list from that recommendation.
Okay,
Let's
that's.
do it that way.
that's-
Okay. That way we have it documented somewhere that we talked about. Okay, that's
Let's
fine.
move on, let's move on.
Okay.
All right, so that's gonna take us to the preliminary budget. Okay, so has everybody looked at the budget? I think, yeah, it was sitting 2-3 times on the table, there was the same thing. Okay, so we got the budget. You wanna open up, Mr. Thoreau, how you want to see the, I can make you.
Right, thank you so much. Does everyone have a budget? Do we need to put it on the screen or is it?
You might want to put it up there, but this is here, right?
It is.
Okay. This,
Pardon me?
I've got an extra.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. So we're gonna share it.
okay, Mrs. Everyone says something, no, hear what you say when I was small. Okay, go ahead, you got it. Thank you so much, Ms. Martinez.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Okay, so, before you, you have a draft budget, for West Tampa, CRA. I'm giving y'all really kind of an overview of, kind of seeing where the money, from FY 23, looking at what was, budgeted, look at the projects, looking at also what changes. There's been some rollover over the years. So you've seen how maybe you had some projects identified, but maybe they weren't done, so they would roll over. We are allowed to roll over money, and y'all probably all know that. And where we are today. So what we have, in their green, to make it easier for you, the green column is going to show where you have your FY 24 revised budget. That's anything that was rolled over and changes that took place is there. Then we have consumption, what was spent, and then funds available at the end of the year. That's the yellow. Okay, so that's what you have as of today. Okay, moving into FY 25, because we're in budget season right now, we start to forecast what with the budget, what is it going to be in FY 25. And so what they do is to typically just take a 5% up increase. So that's where we kind of place. So it's not the actual number, but it's close. And it's been that way kind of historically. So we're looking at today, looking at the buckets, and we'll look at this like buckets, because even if 6 months from now, you'll decide you want to do a parking garage, or you want to buy some property, or you want to do some kind of program, we can always readjust money. But for the most part, this is your best guess of where we want to spend these dollars over the next year. So that's what we have before us. So as we start, you see the revenue column, which is at the top. You see that if you look at the revenue and FY 24, you can see that it was 8.8 million. Okay, and you see what was expensed. And then you see like next year, it's going to be 8.962 total revenue that's coming in. And at the last page, we'll flip. I try not to double side this thing, because it really flips easily. You'll see what your total budget is. Okay, so your total budget stepping in from the green column was $26 million. Really only spent about 576 to date on projects over the past year and your past 8 months. And then you're at 25 million as of today. Okay, moving forward to next year, you're going to get another pot of money and you're 8.9. So yes, you have a lot of money, but you have a lot of things that you're working on, and you have a lot of the projects team has brought y'all a lot of multi-million-dollar projects. So would you like, Chair, to go through each? You want to start going through each pot here? The budget is organized according to our focus areas, and also how we're spending money. Is organized by community outreach and as outreach and community engagement.
So, for my understanding, what's the schedule? When do we gotta have a decision? We're not have a decision made tonight. When is the city planning to have us approved for fiscal year 25 budget? What do they expect the CAC advisory committee
CSC,
to have going through this process?
it's going to CRA board in June. Okay, so tonight, so we have to get.
I understand it's just,
Reports in.
but I'm
So
just
tonight-
saying, June, we must have an approved, when you say go to the board, it's going to the CRA board.
Yes,
Okay.
in June. So we
And
have.
then the CRA board got to have this from, so it can go to the go to city council, right? Well, it's just.
It'd be CRA board approval. Yeah.
Okay,
CRA.
all right, so.
We need the first blush
So
out.
we got another meeting in May, and then, so it's gonna get crucial, because we've had special call meeting back to the budget. But I think because we were going through all this transitioning, I think we finally got the items like operation administration, the professional service, we got all that straight last year, which is real confusing for everybody. So I think now we have the various areas cleared out and, so forth. Okay, now, so let's just dig into it. So let's just so originally we had in 2024, looking at the tax, we had 8.5 million, $4,917 change. So the revised final budget was 8.5 million, right? And I'm gonna jump back to that last page, and it said the total consumption, meaning the total is that we spent from the $26.5 million we had budgeted, left us with $25,930,000 that was in some budget somewhere. So that means we're not efficient in spending our money, what that's telling me, okay?
Comment.
But not that, I'm gonna comment because I know how the state of Florida is. We see a bunch of money sitting around, somebody's gonna eliminate it. Okay, so that means we need to get more implementation and get some of these projects completed and get some of these things moving forward, even like we want park drive, see what I'm saying? Now, so it's anticipated that we will be getting a conservatively 8.9 million in the new Avalon roll out, that's gonna be 8.9, we know historically usually more than that. And sometimes maybe way more than that, it's based on, as the certificates of occupancy get closed out, then we get to going, so that's what we got, right? All right, so let's get started. So does anybody have to go right down this list, line by line, so wake up now, because I don't wanna be here all night, we still have to make sentences. Now, so everybody understands the revenue, the tax and the finance, this interest. I mean, can we ever use that interest? That $326,000?
Where is, I'm sorry. Oh, that goes into your budget, yes.
I don't,
There-
I thought there was some restriction that the board had put on that interest being utilized. Cause I remember one time we had to try to use it for COVID and that got stopped.
That was an old, your memory is correct, if I may be the historian.
Please.
It used to be that we used to hold that in reserve, the interest. And that was back in the days when funding was limited.
Because nobody knew about it. Then we say, where's that? So then it's got
Right,
to
so
put it on the.
it used to be that it was held in reserve.
Okay, so we restricted that, right? It's
Yes.
unrestricted. Okay, and then other things come, there isn't any. All right, so we got the total revenue to start with, people. So let's just dig into this. Operation administration, professional service. We have,
Questions, some comments?
go ahead.
Okay. On the revenue side, I see where, I mean, there's a total consumption column, which would apply to all of these other categories, because it's not really total, because we didn't spend 8.7 million. So I'm thinking, shouldn't we just leave that blank where it says total consumption? In other words,
Well, this budget is.
that heading is for the,
That should not be there.
Yeah.
it's
That
not,
should not be
I
there.
don't, you don't have to, you don't
All
have
right,
to.
well, draw a line. through it.
It's not the revenue side.
I'll just draw a line through it because it's not been consumed.
we don't want people to think that we spent,
Exactly, so when you add it all to,
yeah, it's just meant to apply, that's my first. The second is operations and administration is totally blank, are we waiting?
wait a minute, stop right there, let's stop right there.
Okay.
Because you started something.
All right,
We on the revenue line, revenue. And we're talking about consumption, so if the revenue, how is it consumed?
That's why it's,
So none of that should be there.
right, that's what I'm saying.
That whole-
Scratch out,
That whole 8.788 should not even be in the consumption. That
Right.
should start to the lower parts,
correct.
but the lower part is where we're gonna be spending.
That's correct.
So all that disappears.
Yes, that's what we're saying.
It doesn't add.
Does everybody see that?
Yes.
Does everybody agree with
I
that?
also have a question. If this whole area is out, then how do we have an interest consumption?
We don't, we just got rid of it.
So then how do the funds available have a calculation?
Yeah, that's gonna be zeroed out too.
But this is part of a broader budget.
I understand, but
I
we're
understand.
more intelligent than that, so we're telling you that we don't wanna see it like that, because it's misleading.
Fine.
Okay, what else, Mr. Nick, you on the road tonight, I can't believe you correct. You're gonna clear, you're gonna knock all this money out of our budget, girl, what you doing? All right, what else?
Just under operations and administration is blank, so I wasn't,
There is cost. It's just all standard and again, there's gonna be cost allocation, but that's all internal. And if you wanna see that, I can. It's like.
Right, so what I'm saying is, from my experience, they got a big start with this. All you seeing is what she chose to show us. Remember that?
Well,
Y'all remember item
we
D,
can't.
and it was up on the screen, Mr. Brussia said, wait a minute, that's D up there, why had that one out? You remember that big deal? Okay. You know what I'm saying? So they started to select that. So we like to see what is the operations administration, you know?
and the reason I bring it up is the broken record is about to repeat. I want to see the staffing levels that we are funding. Because perhaps we want to increase those staffing levels and fund
Or supplement with professional center.
or whatever, but the point is, you made a very good point. We got 30-something million. You need people to spend that money. And so that's if we see what is the personnel, how many are we funding? And I'm
Well,
gonna bring
again-
it up again under the staffing update, but not to
Okay.
belabor it now.
All right, so we will show that way, we'll show operations, and it will have a consumption to it. So it'll be filled out across the board there. So we want to show that, so leaving that blank, correct? Okay, next, let's move on. Was that it, Mr. Strickland? Anyone else? Okay on that item? If not, we're gonna go to professional services. We got the alleyway pilot project study and action plan, 250,000. Rollover, it says, I guess, on all of it. And it just rolled over to 2024 budget. There's been no consumption. So it moves over to, funds available, 250,000 as of today. And does it roll over to the pink?
Only if, well, it'll stay there, unless you want to put additional money towards it. The pink is putting additional money.
Okay,
It's for the FY.
okay. So the 250, so we get to the bottom of the yellow. That should add up to funds available. That would be our new budget, 25 million. Except for we did take out the 73 up there that you had up there on the revenue, it shouldn't have been in there. Okay, so that's gonna change that 25, it's gonna raise it up to 26 or something, you see that? If this is being done by Excel. Okay, all right, so no problems there, let's move on, very good. Blue revision overlay, now this is where we're saying that we need professional services to help us with the overlay, 80,000's in there, is that a good number?
Yeah, but I don't know, quite honestly, if we need it, if we're only gonna deal with city staff.
I don't.
That's the reason.
Hold on, this study. Yeah, city staff, but we might want, cause I know y'all are gonna say, well, we might do another third-party expert that ain't biased, like the city might be biased, like, cause I don't care. This overlay, that's why we put it in there, we
That's what
say, we wanna make sure that if we love the city, but if we don't agree with the city, we might want to get a third party to give us an opinion. Now, that's why it got in there now, so don't backtrack yourself. Cause if we let them go down that route, we need to have some budget money.
I'm good with it.
You get what I'm saying? We might just need somebody to come in and verify what they saying, right? Okay, moving on next, professional planning firm. Now, 200,000, so it's 200,000, I don't know, what's the difference in, what professional planning firm, what was that one about?
200,000 was because we were gonna get somebody to rewrite it.
Definitely.
The overlay, it was for the overlay.
Or anything else, it might be for, planning, it could be for planning this parking, it could be for planning the garage, it could be early plans, because they don't have one. So let's leave, y'all.
Actually, when I read this, I thought it was for the community regional plan update that you're gonna be due for.
No, that don't say that.
I know it doesn't. I didn't know what it was for.
Well, you got to put something, put another line in here for that. Okay, you see what I'm doing with this? Okay, hold on, let's proceed, and then we'll move around. What was your
So the
question?
way I understood your explanation of the columns, are we adding an additional 200,000 to the 200,000 that rolled over?
That's what this shows.
Tonight, tonight.
That's what this, if it's in the pink,
Just want to make sure.
that's gonna be added to the yellow, that give us the final number.
Right, if you feel like you need that, absolutely.
Yeah, and she just hit us in the head and said because, she gave an explanation, said it was because the update.
Actually, I didn't know. I wanted y'all to your feedback on what that was and why.
Okay, well, what's that feedback on why we need an additional 200,000 and the
I mean, if we're gonna have to do the update,
update what?
we can have, we can get to our point.
The community development plan needs to be updated.
Since 2015.
It should be updated. And so.
It's Tampa, they ain't been updated in 24 years.
Theirs is being updated now.
They ain't been updated in 24 years.
Everybody's getting updated.
Huh? We've got the city pay for it. Okay, so let the city, okay, like you said, the city pay for it. So what's the feeling is
It's a legitimate thing we pay for.
okay, no, I'm not gonna be in the decision right now, but I'm just showing y'all that we have the most updated plan, number one. And everybody else is trying to get updated like we were. And now the time that went on, it's going on to be 10 years. Typically, 10 years is where you want to do it on anything. They say 5, but that was not their philosophy, because if it was, I can't do. If we'd have been updated, this 2020, we would have been talking about it, right? This 2024, going on 2025. But I hear this, that new way that they want to get everybody on the same page with all these plans updated, because one reason the update is it includes the census data. Look at housing, Bobby, doesn't change right now. The trends don't change with parks. Number of people doesn't change, the racial makeup of the neighborhood doesn't change, all that gets included. The slum blanket areas get changed. So that's one reason you update it, so you can justify, projects going forward, because if they ain't in the plan, you can't do it. Okay, Mr. Ramirez, let's move on, so you're doing good here.
The other reason we needed our planner was in discussions here, when we're talking about having somebody connect all the studies that we've done. That way we can have a cohesive.
Like we're trying to do now.
If you do a plan update, all that will get done.
Well, and the city will
They
be-
look at,
So it's $200,000 going rate for a plan update?
well, just so you read this correctly, the yellow column is what you have today. If you
Right.
add 200,000 for everything, you got the 400.
Yes, I don't want all 400 for a plan update. I still want to have something for somebody to be a professional planning firm.
Most of the updates right now are averaging, I mean, it's Melissa, I think it's around one.
So we're paying about 200,000 for downtown, we paid 100,
Sorry.
for Central Park, and 96,000 was 188,000. Is what we're paying for downtown.
Thank you. All right. Okay, we're good now. Let's move on. Everybody say, okay, professional, we're done with that. Now we're moving on to next item 3. Outreach to community engagement.
Can I get some comments on this? So where it's yellow, that is what the categories can be called now. We're not the one underneath marketing, promotion specialists. That's gonna go away and everything's gonna be professional services. And what this line item is about is the marketing. We're outsourcing the marketing. The RFP is almost ready. It's gonna be going out. And so that is what that line item is. This was already,
Let me stop you. You create a ball of confusion.
I'm sorry.
Okay, we got an item called professional services. So if outreach and community engagement is professional service, then maybe you need to make outreach and community engagement under the title called professional services. We can't have these saying professional outreach for community engagement, which we normally have marketing, promotion, special events. And now we're gonna come back and say that's, we're gonna have 2, 3 categories of professional service. If it's a professional service, it needs to be under professional service line.
Correct. So, but the professional services is this RFP. It's the outside contracted out service. So
But
it's
then-
falling under
then-
professional service.
Then let's put it up there and just cancel that whole thing now. So what do you wanna call it?
It's,
Outreach, community engagement?
it's under that. It's under that. umbrella.
No, listen. You said that you're gonna get rid of callings on the outreach, community engagement. We're not just using.
No, that stays.
We're not gonna, listen, you said we're not using the term marketing, promote, special events. We're gonna be using the term professional services. I'm saying that's confusing, because we have a line item called professional services. We got alleyway. we
Oh,
got-
no, I'm
So
sorry.
we can put up in this and say, outreach, community engagement.
It's, everything's just one line.
Huh?
Marketing special events, okay, that will go away. Everything will be called professional services.
No, it's above. Professional services.
Oh, it says professional service.
Well,
I,
but we're putting professional services directly under outreach and community.
No.
That's what it is. I
Right.
understand. That's for general. That's for general. It's the way it's worded for other things, but this is specifically for outreach. It's gonna, you're gonna see this throughout some others that you're gonna see.
Why don't you just say? So what you're saying is that we can have professional services that generically out there. And now we have a category called outreach, community
I
engagement.
like your suggestion. I do. Let's
See, Bobby?
take professional services out. Let's call it marketing, communication.
You can keep it in, just combine, just say professional services, marketing, promotions.
That's exactly what I, this. We call outreach, community engagement.
all the professional services, just put like.
Okay.
marketing.
There's some buzzwords you don't use in FRA right now.
Okay.
It's marketing and special events. We cannot have that.
Okay, so let's just start marketing the special events, and let's just say professional services for outreach, community engagement.
That's fine.
Okay, okay, I know the city, and I know we can't be having 4-5 definitions of professional service. So we already got 3 professional service, let's add another one, that will save a line on the chart. Okay, so it won't be no 3 there, let's be now moving on called professional services, outreach, and community engagement, which satisfies the legality thing. And so market promotion, all that gone, the word professional gone, so ain't no more 3, actually it's 1, 2, and
No, wait a
3.
minute. I have to keep 3. 3 is a focus area. I have to have that in the budget. Underneath that,
It's not in the budget, on professional services, that's outreach and community engagement.
I can't change that category. I can't change outreach and I can't change number 3. Underneath it, I can put professional services / marketing.
All right, we go back to market there. Okay,
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just the way all the budgets have to kind of be.
I understand, y'all not, that y'all trying to get everybody have the same budget for that.
Because at the end of the day, we're doing metrics on this.
I understand, I got you. All right, so we're just gonna have what professional services, 219, 125, okay, so we got 344,000. And we still gonna have it in there. And we're gonna spend $428 all year long, no wonder we can get that done. Okay, so we're gonna add another 125 to that, right?
Correct.
Okay. Anybody, okay, Ms. Maloney, before we move, let's leave this.
Well, I just was, this is kind of maybe kind of random, but I was thinking about hiring, the CRA hiring someone to help CRA residents, not the CRA, the CRC, hiring someone to help people fill out grant proposals.
They're gonna do that, we'll talk about that, because when we get older, there's another way they're doing that, they're gonna do that.
Okay,
And that's in them 44 pages, okay?
okay.
All right, just hold your horse on that, we'll get to that. But I hear what you're saying, but we got line item for professional service, as long as we got money now, we do it. So now so there's gonna be 3, since the outreach community engagement, and the yellow means that's the new wording that we're gonna use, correct? So if it says yellow, yellow highlight on there, that's the new wording. And anything else like that, market promotions and special events will be deleted. So when we see the next wave of this, it's gonna say outreach community engagement, professional services, and it's gonna have this 344 and it's 125, right? Mrs. Grover.
Correct.
Let's move on.
I'll explain that,
Yes.
but that's correct.
Ms. Williams.
Is there any way that we can increase mailings to the residents, because, you know, honestly, if you want, if you want to hear from the people, we want to hear from as many people as we can, and in a slum and blighted area, I just think that you'd get more,
When you say no, you mean like this little card she's been doing?
well, a card or a letter, you
Okay,
know,
we
they're picking up on
gotta
the
do
topic.
that stuff, but we can revisit. The question is, yes, we can do that with a motion. The question is 344 plus 125 enough to do it? And I think it is, unless you think you need to put more in there because you want an additional value, additional outreach, more. What do you feel, what kind of number you talking about increasing to? Now it's your time.
50,000.
Okay, so we want to put that in the what? The yellow or the pink?
Pink.
The pink, right?
Yeah, 175.
All right, so we add 50,000 to that. So it's gonna be 175. Okay,
So total, we're gonna have $519,000.
175 plus 344, you're the mathematician, okay? You're gonna get all this cleaned up and we're gonna see. All right, all right, let's move on, get later. Okay, redevelopment investment, item 4, business enhancement micro grant. Now, that's one of them pages, 44. Let me
Let me
explain
explain this section, I'm sorry.
Let me explain this, okay, those are all of the, well,
No,
no,
those are the old ones.
those are old, but then you told us the yellow is what.
The yellow means there's a change. Let me tell you.
Okay, now,
I'm sorry.
okay, so wait a
I'll be
minute.
better at the color.
Again, you come
So
again now.
everything in yellow under grants, and y'all heard the grant presentation.
No, stop now. You had yellow said professional services,
Because it's a
but that
change.
yellow should have been on marketing promotions, because that's what we changed.
Well, that's, yeah.
Okay, I mean, because I'm trying to get you here, so yellow means there's a change coming from what's
It's a
there.
change.
And that's yellow, the first yellow should have been on the marketing promotion. You got that now? So now she got the yellow under here, those are gonna be changed. Right?
So in the, we'll take it section by section.
Okay, we got.
So number, and these are my mental notes more than presentation. You'll see colors like that going forward, but under redevelopment investment, this is your grants. Okay, that's what it's called. All the first 4 yellow items there are what you have had before, you've had in place. Those all are being migrated into new categories, which are below that in italicized. So you've got 4 grant programs, and I shared with the CRA boards, which was really good because it showed all the descriptions. Jerry Robinson thought it was good to share. It showed the presentation. So they're migrating all, so business enhancement, neighborhood groups, restaurant, and those are all going to go away. And they're going to become these new categories. Basically, are migrating into these new categories. And we can go through those.
Right, okay, let's just look at this. The business enhancement, neighborhood grants, restaurant, vanilla share, y'all remember those? Those have been approved by the board, that's how we've been operating. Now, here's the problem I had, I said, how we gonna roll over 400,000, 100, and I don't know where you're rolling it. Let me finish. Okay, so I want to know, give me a piece of paper, 'cause I don't trust the city, right? With burglars, we ain't got no more burglars in here, I'm over here. We want a piece of paper. So I said, Miss, why did we get, what is the new program? Like Jeanette been saying, okay? So that's how we got and smoked out the March 44 page of how they're gonna do this commercial part. Interior, exterior, and all of that. Well, there's a piece missing. It's the residential body. That ain't in writing yet, how they gonna do that. Now, they done told us verbally at the meeting last month, verbally, but I'm gonna stick with the show me and write. And that's when I smoked out that if you look at the photo paper, there's an application in there. You can see what the application is gonna be asking for. And you can see what, cause it's gonna be universal. You're gonna be able to use this grant, these programs, these new ones. Any CRA, everybody fill out the same paperwork. Everybody gonna be under the same. This is part of getting everything consolidated. So that's why I had it sent to you. You may not have read it, but you might want to go read it. But that's what I said. Okay, so now my question is this. We're showing this negative up here coming out in the zeros. Now, So my question is, how do we get pre-development grants now to be 35,000? That was something that we didn't have before. So we don't, and what's the pre-development grant?
Okay, so the pre-development grant, and if there, and I just so you'll know that you get that copy for you as well, so you have all the background, right?
And that's what that pre-development grant is. Yeah, this is the March 21st, 2024, long 44 pages.
Right.
That says draft, but I think was approved by the board, was it not?
Yes, it was, this direction was definitely approved by the board, and.
And the companion to this is gonna be one that deals with how, with, residential.
Right, this is
Okay,
only commercial we're talking about.
right, so this is commercial,
So
okay.
you can see the descriptions. I mean, pre-development is basically helping to fund someone who wants to do something on their property, but maybe they need a site plan.
They get an
Maybe they
architect.
need an architect, they need an engineer. They need, but they just don't have the resources to do it.
That is an awful lot.
Well,
Thank
that can change. That's what I mean.
But we right here today, we finna change, do that thing, no.
Well, so the red area, so let's talk about that because this is all new and this is just basically what you're seeing here is everything that was funded in the other categories is basically being reprogrammed somewhere else.
So
So
there's ones that, on these two on this page and the two on the next page at the top. The commercial material grants and the special projects grants, okay? I understand that. But my question is, that's too low, because when we had these people on here wanting to do that garden, they spent, 2 years trying to get pre-development money, but they didn't have the capacity to get it done, you know that? And they needed some help, which goes to you about somebody helping with an application. That's sort of like the pre-development. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To get through that initial phase. So if we got 35, I'm actually, Mr. Chair, you think 35,000? I mean, if you look at it this way, we have to, I'm gonna you, Mr. Mercer, you deal with people coming in with buildings and all.
Yeah, I mean,
In pre-development, you deal with this all day long, so.
I don't know that it's ever been tested. They haven't had, as soon as we created these micro grants to try to bring in businesses where they will utilize them,
They got
they
it.
basically stopped funding grants because they said we're a reorganization.
We don't know. Well, yeah, but in business, you know, well,
Oh, yeah.
what percentage? Let's look at this.
Spend 5,000 on an architect, you can spend.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, we know that if we add up the next page, that's from 525, so we got 525,000, 162,000. And then on the previous page, we got 941,000. Come on, man. It reduces what, 10-15% this last year?
Yeah, that's.
You know, I was gonna say take 10-15% of that number and put that as the pre-development grant, you know what I'm saying? Assuming,
My question, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
no, you can do it anytime.
The commercial, my assumption is that the bulk of these micro grants, neighborhood special grant, so. But these are obviously just suggestions and we have to determine where they're going. But it seemed like some of the items that were in yellow, for at least the commercial side, were rolled up under commercial interior grants at 525,000.
Well, no, they got 941 for the commercial exterior.
Sorry.
That's what the side grants, yeah, I think.
But that's it, that's roofing anything. See, it doesn't change now, but the word facade is consistent. The now exterior means windows, exterior.
Correct.
Okay, so it's bigger than facade was. Okay, so what they're trying to do is say, look, if we want to do a building and you come in there and that's another thing. I said, what about if you got residential up top? Well, here's in the head. Let me ask the resident, it's a combination. So what they got, the way they do it now, if you look at that application in that package, you might want to look at that, buddy. Look at that application, with you, Mr. Procedure, that application, you have to check off, well, am I gonna do the interior, am I gonna do the windows? Do I need to have this? Because they wanna do is stop it in the beginning and get you the right location and get you with the right funding source, because they're gonna help figure out what funding source you can really come from by that application that you turn in, if you look at it. I mean, I actually read this stuff, I got a board like, okay, so, hold on. So that's what I'm saying, maybe if we did a percentage of the commercial exterior and interior and special project grant, that, which are one-offs, I guess, that would be a way to do it, maybe 10% of that number would be a number, something like that. But anyway, Ms. Williams.
But this is a slow regulated area. And for many people who have a vision, no matter what they're called or whatever, I'm sure that those pre-development expenses are very high and probably prevent them from taking the next step forward. So I think we need to be a little bit more mindful and respectful. And $35,000, I don't know anything about it, but it's a low number.
Well, that's what we said, so what we decided.
It's woefully.
I think that the vice chair was adding up the 4 categories, and I didn't hear him say what that number was, so we can say maybe 10 or 15%.
Between 1.3 and 1.4 for all the categories. So if we bump it up to 100,
Actually, we could use it throughout the year if it becomes very popular. Let's reprogram it.
Yeah. 150,000, you can go right now, 150,000 independent.
So wait, just to clarify, you're putting 150 additional in the red.
No, we made the pre-development grants a total of 150,000.
A total of 100, so you're
Yes,
taking
100.
minus the 130,
Right.
so I need to know what you're putting in the red.
$114,996.01.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't, I did 5,000. I'm sorry, I got you. I got you.
Well, somebody could use.
Yes.
The numbers that the negative numbers
Uh-huh.
total up to be 1.3 million. But then the new numbers that under the new categories total to be 1.4.
Did you take the last two purples? The purples are supposed to add up. Last page has some purples too.
I did.
You did, okay. I will talk to the grants team about that. I'll make sure everything's.
So I'm not quite sure, are we working with the baselines of 1.3 or 1.4?
Well,
It doesn't matter.
We're gonna look at this again,
Okay.
and I wanna get this is like the first look, let's get it going and do like Jeanette says, let's try to get something done, that it come back fresh to us, that we can get even micro go to it. So I'm trying to get through this tonight and give them some idea that we look at the curve, we looked at our budget, we talked about it, and we move it on and go back, get it cleaned up and get it back to us, and we can, in the meantime, they can figure out how to remember that fuzzy math that you're talking about.
this one,
Yeah,
this one.
the pre-development, commercial, exterior, and like it's just off by 120,000, so.
Yes.
So, what I just want to know is if you want to put additional money towards these categories, that's very helpful.
Right now, we don't even like the years, but we still ain't got to the housing yet. But that's just in commercial, buildings. Pre-developed, that's for commercial buildings and special grants. You know, and we don't know what a special grant, somebody may walk me around with $1 million special grant, we don't know. But right now, we got something, and we can always change the next time we do this list, right? Okay. Move right along. So we're done with that first page?
Yes.
Fred. So nothing else changes on that first page except for that pre-development grant. And nothing, and then we're on the second page, that stays the same, so now we're down to 5. Affordable housing initiatives.
We did spend money.
We spend no money, we don't budget a lot of money, but ain't that been spent.
Okay, so a little bit about affordable housing.
So, okay, that's a crumb. The 5. Go ahead.
Sorry. So affordable housing, that is your residential. It's gonna be your residential grants, your residential programs.
I didn't mean, I won't find it, that because he got housing person, now I just want to his name.
So just so you know, nothing's been, these are.
So these programs, finish this, like these new programs,
Nothing.
these are ours that we
It's
had.
what you have at this moment in time, because you've not been presented with anything different.
Well, what was that people brought to us?
That was commercial.
Oh, that was the commercial.
All commercial, residential hasn't come yet.
This will be next. You're gonna see a presentation like.
Okay, all right, I got you.
So you have healthy money and you have a lot of, all categories have something. The only thing I will point out here is like at the very bottom, you see this 2.7 million that's coming in on FY 25 under land assemblage for affordable housing. That is the 30% that CRA is setting aside for all CRAs. So every CRA has that same 30% of your expected revenue.
Yeah.
We
So-
did the math before.
So we say affordable housing, one of the things, like in West Tampa, we have we have the housing authority. But is, when we say, we want to do workforce housing as well. So with that, by labeling, it seems like the city, when, at the last presentation, the director was saying housing was like capping it at 80% LMI. And so if we say that, are we not able to do any workforce housing?
No, this is a very general terminology we're using here. If there's a creative program, there's a program workforce, you can consider it this way.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we're able to,
Locked in, like you're, I know the terminology has been tossed around a couple different things, but yes, you could do workforce in here, I believe. I mean,
I just want to make sure we're able to do that.
Marcia,
So I have,
again, just so you've got to have a presentation on this.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have more information.
we got all that, let's move on, I don't want to get out of here.
yeah, I have a question. I know that 2.7 million accounts for the 30%, but doesn't everything under Roman numeral 5 count towards that 30%? So we actually have,
No,
that's,
remember, that was the argument I made. Each year, they made it that
It's
on
an
the new
additional.
money, they want 30, they got greedy. Cause I said, well, if we add it all up, we already got 30. Now, every time we get an allotment, they want 30%. So that's why
This is the third fiscal year, they've been drawing 30%.
right, so that's what,
Built up
that's,
quite a bit.
so yeah, that does count for it. But they want it every year, so that makes sense, I mean, you know.
Once we're able to address workforce housing, we're good. Because I don't want to be limited to the 80%.
Well, no, well, Bobby, when they come to them program, that when you say, hey, the AMI can be AMI, whatever, okay? When we did that on Home Yard with that AMI. Okay, but that's when, but they ain't there yet, so they have not messed with you, but when they do, that's when you're gonna have to,
Oh, we had, like, Jeanette was there.
Yes,
yes,
right there with you.
yes, okay.
The discussion that we had.
All right, but right now, she can't say so, because we ain't seen what the so-called people doing. Okay. All right, then, so do we see any reason to do anything on this? Now, what I wanna ask is this, we bought a house, that we talking about this housing, right over here, which ain't on the list, this Martina, we got to shake your head back there. Okay, it's on the list. That's on the list, okay, all right. That house over there on Spruce Street,
Bruce, yeah.
and I think that was supposed to be used, did they ever get it fixed up? It's supposed to get it.
It's being, the fixing is being completed.
Hold on.
Just working with it.
Because I see them say nothing like that, and that was one that we wanted, so almost good to bring the house, you had some repairs, be done, give us an update very quick.
So we're still waiting on maintenance facility to complete a list of items that were identified need to be fixed in the house.
Who does that work?
Maintenance,
Who's making, city maintenance?
the city maintenance, yes.
So
City
city got
staff,
big screw around fixing that house?
yes. No, just for that one.
City assets.
I'm just saying, I didn't know they had, who they go around fixing the house.
Well, let me tell you.
Streets, water pipes.
Yeah.
So that's like fixing up the city building, okay. All right, moving on. So then that building is supposed to be used, like, if we have, some family gotta move out of the house to be rehab, that's a temporary residence, what I heard, right? That's one way to be used, correct?
Hasn't been finalized yet.
Huh?
We have not discussed on how it's going to be used.
So that's what I thought I heard staff intelligence coming from them. When I asked the
Currently,
question.
it's not occupied.
No, how it's
Could
gonna be
it
used.
be? Yes, it could.
That one I heard, I think the Booty was sort of hitting that there. That's what I heard, Mr. Jones.
You talking about the 3 houses?
No, we didn't buy the three, we couldn't get those. The one house we made required is next to it on Spruce, the newest, it cost a fortune.
And now, if you wanted to acquire additional property for a affordable
That's what
housing,
3.7.
you line up for it.
That's what that said,
The 1.4.
2.7.
And you could reprogram to it too, if you found something.
2.7, buddy.
On top of.
It's actually, you're right, it's 1.4 plus the 2.7,
Oh,
additional money.
Bobby, that's some more money. Okay, let's move on. All right, are we good with item 5, Bullock House? Okay, let's move on.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Sir, can you tell us where that 30% is again?
The 30%, it's a calculation on, so it's 2.7 million off your revenues that are coming in.
8 point.
Oh, so
So it's 8 point, I'm sorry.
it's added to the land assembly to affordable housing line.
Correct.
But it's not ours to spend.
Yeah, it's a plus. 9.117 is the number. So the pink, remember, is the addition to the yellow. They get the time.
And what you'll see, once it gets approved, and this is now we're in August, or October 1, then these, you'll have one category with one pot of money. You'll have the addition done, basically, what you've been doing.
Good, John, you pay that now? Or was somebody else over there? No? All right,
Good.
let's move on. We good? No?
The 30% that the city wants us to separate for affordable housing, is that staying in our CRA or is that for every, okay?
Everybody, we gotta get downtown, get.
I'm good.
Okay. All right, now, so that takes, but we're gonna put it good, this is the fastest we moved on the budget as well.
I think to answer your question or to maybe clarify, is he asking if that money is guaranteed to stay within our CRA or does it get put in the general fund?
No, you can't, you cannot quote me, I'll be the first one to call it, yeah. You cannot co-mingle CRA funds or another CRA. Now, we know that's basic 101. Now, y'all went to class, y'all got the books, so I know we got training. Okay, okay, now let's move on. I'm trying to get us out of here. Yeah, affordable housing. We done with that one? Consensus good? All right, we're moving to number 6, infrastructure capital projects. Is Jones have your hand up? Okay, infrastructure capital, you say, man, it's something with the yellow one, what's that? I don't know what you call
It's
it.
going away, actually.
Huh?
It's going away because it
Cause
doesn't.
it's up at the top.
There we have here, I'm sorry, Melissa's here, so she,
No,
this
that's
is,
what my budget, I just wanted to make sure that I get money from next year.
for one, just looking for money.
So, that
So-
land assembly, professional services, how long gonna be a line item?
Well, because right underneath it, you have something called land assemblage, okay, so you just.
I got
there's
you.
your line
All
item,
right,
yeah.
okay, all right, now, let's look at infrastructure capital projects. So Ray Park is in here for,
So can I just point out one category? The neighborhood infrastructure improvement line item, you'll see it's kind of an odd number, 854. That's what would be left over, okay? That you don't have budgeted towards something specific. That's kind of our catch-all. So throughout the year, tell if you want to do a project or put something towards it, you would take it out of that pot of money, okay? But we put it under neighborhood infrastructure improvements. And
it's always been,
so that'll
and
fluctuate.
that's gonna be 3.4 plus 854.
That's
Correct.
Okay.
Or whatever's left over.
Right, all right, so now what is this,
So let's go through each one.
let's just make sure Ray Park, which don't have enough money.
Okay, here. No, you do. So I did take, just so you know,
3.9, I see it.
you all already gave a free
Yes, I see it.
promotion, so you're
Yes.
going to
Yes.
reappropriate next on May 9th at CRA board. So I already took that to $21
Okay,
$2 million. So, and by the way, you can't do any more there. Y'all know that because we're at max.
Well, we have to go back and re-advertise.
Yeah, exactly.
Do we have enough money for streets, alleys, sidewalk improvements? We only have 600,000. I don't think so. No.
To do what now?
Do we have enough allocated?
Well, I'm talking like Jeanette now, why the city ain't doing sidewalks?
I mean, they're not gonna do the alleys.
I think we can. This is just a placeholder
Yeah.
because we are waiting for them to finish that study. that they're
Correct.
doing.
Well, wait a minute, I thought somebody told me the alley study's done.
They're coming May, with make the presentation.
Next month.
The alley study's
Yeah,
done.
next
The alley study done or not?
It's,
I don't know if we get on final approval on that, I can't.
I've been
I was told the alley study done.
Okay.
Now, is it or not?
You're being presented with it next month on your next meeting. The consultant's gonna come, that's your next presentation. So y'all remember the very first, we had professional service alley study. There you go, the 250. So the recommendations from that can be then reallocate money towards that and that line item, street alley sidewalk improvements. Or you could do it today if you want to put some money there.
You won't. We
Don't get out.
I mean, we
We
could,
got close.
as soon,
We can always reprogram the infrastructure. Got it.
as long as we have that outline.
We got a placeholder.
Okay.
Okay,
Wait, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be adequate, but.
okay.
No, I agree. with
I'm
you.
just looking at the ones I know. And then Freedom Park, that 100. Well,
I need money for that.
All right.
Freedom Park.
Martinez, question for funding.
You gonna get the-
wait a minute now, are we supposed to get a brownfield grant reimbursement?
That's under, for the environmental, for the, yeah, there is a reimbursement of the cost
Right.
for that. On this one here is actually for the design of the park itself.
Okay, so we need somebody for the design, if y'all want to keep it moving fast.
Design, construction.
I don't know about construction, I say design. Let's put something up for design.
Well, has the money been allocated for the remediation yet?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're in this budget.
That's already, there's already a purchase order that was already issued, so when that happens, it gets out of your budget and it's already issued, it's already allocated, those funds.
Okay, and then when we get the reimbursement, it'll have to show up on yours.
Correct, it's put back in the budget.
So what would you recommend that we put here for Freedom Park?
Well, if you're gonna do design, you need to now put it up in under professional services. Okay, so go back to number one, where we have alleyway, we'll design it there, and then we build it under infrastructure capital projects. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fine.
Put it under what?
Under.
In other words,
So,
it's a professional service, you're gonna have to hire someone, correct?
so there's a rule of thumb that we have been doing for other parks around around the city that I'm involved with is usually around 1.2 million to 1.5 million for the construction, the design and construction of the project. So we take 10% of that.
Is that average parks that have buildings on it, right?
Not necessarily, we have, if we go
Give me
to,
a industrial park. Okay, how much industrial park, this is.
So do you want to do 150 for professional services?
correct.
No, that's overkill, that ain't gonna cost no 1.5 million for professional services,
That's really 6% of the one.
Oh, professional,
Professional services, 150,000.
but then you got construction management. too.
Then
That's.
No, we're talking about,
Look,
yeah,
All right, so you said how much you gonna put for Freedom Park with, by
okay, so
week?
you add, so right now on the line item, you add the
You
line.
mean for professional services, right, now, not the other part,
that's the other part is
and you're saying,
150.
Because that will get me the plans for construction and that's.
so here's your problem, when the city delivers it, it's not this way, they deliver the design bill.
Correct, if
So
it's
where you
design
put
bill,
the
it
design
should be
bill?
right here.
A design bid bill will be in your infrastructure fund.
Yeah, it goes,
Infrastructure
if
package.
you're
Well,
separating.
I'm saying put the professional services, put it as,
If we're gonna do design bid.
That's what you
it's
said.
what we're gonna do. Then it's gonna be in the infrastructure, we don't want to put it on.
so then it's package infrastructure where we had.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so we don't need to put it in professional services.
1.3.
All right, you get what I'm saying?
Yes, I know, I got you, I got
So
you.
we're not gonna put it, we're gonna let
You have the money you need in
Right now,
evaluating pilot project study and action plan to utilize for the professional services.
No, because they ain't gonna do it that way. They're gonna go design bill, just like South Savings. So it's gonna have to go over your infrastructure.
And
Correct.
And that way, so we didn't come up with an Oxford number, we think the park would be built out at.
$1,250,000.
Is that
Freedom
correct?
Park.
What was your recommendation? What was the 1 point what? You said we took the parts.
the ones that we're working on is between 1.2 to 1.5.
Is that the wrong lane? That's it, like,
Well, I'm doing the channel, I'm doing it here and,
but I mean, are they wrong lanes? There's
oh, yeah,
dirt,
yeah.
and then there's gonna be something come out.
Yes, right now, I'm in the big channel district, I have one that is just, it was parking up, well,
It's not as big as the one here as far as square footage,
it's about the same size.
and you're recommending,
You get to 1.2 million.
So right now, you
For
have
the
100.
whole, the design bid bill.
1.5 million.
So what I would, just to recommend, you already have 100,000 from last year. You want to put another, what, 1.1? Take the 100,000 out of the pink and turn it into 1.1?
We want to put in 1.4.
1.4.
I gotta make sure these all add up.
Yeah, 1.4 in the pink.
All right, 1.4 million.
When's that? Freedom Park and 100. So then it end up being 1.40 feet plus 100 is 1.5
Thank you.
based on a professional construction person. Next. That's my recommendation. Do we got consensus on that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, we're really doing some with parks and the city ain't spending that. Okay, but anyway, moving on, anything else infrastructure, y'all see staying, like, what, Martin Luther King? Yes, okay, hold on, I think Ms. Jones got, second, Ms. Jones. And then Mr. Ramirez. And what now? I don't know what the status of that is.
I thought
The Martin Luther King.
Maybe it was gonna do something.
Now, they paint the building, that's a paint job. See, we have not had a study done on that building. We don't know what the assessment is. We got to get this, we got to get an assessment, because that's an existing structure, like Ray Park. We gotta have somebody that give us the parts, the record parts.
Just a placeholder.
It's a placeholder. It's a placeholder.
I know, right?
Do you just want?
Well, I mean, 9 to 10, if you think the place, we got 100,000 in it for a placeholder. I know this, it's gonna change, because, that, we need to consider that, because that's a sole spot in the community, especially African American community. We need to show something that we're gonna put something there, so what do you suggest? But we know, we know we don't even need that, because the audio end is terrible. But that's what we do over there, we need to, as we said 3 years ago, we need to think of that audio around that stage, because it's terrible. We put this in there, you can't get that, that's what we need here. If we had that audio, if we had that echo nonsense out, that would be a decent place to meet with bigger than this.
If we like professional service that can go in and tell us what needs to be done,
An assessment.
an assessment.
That's what
So, Mrs. Okay, hold on, ladies.
Again,
Hold on, ladies. Mr.
Let's not be so generous, not that we don't have the intention. This is a city parks and rec facility. Let's hear what they're gonna put into the pot too.
Okay, so what we
So
want to do.
that's what I'm saying, this is a place marker, we can add as much as we want when we know the particulars. Right,
So we need.
but if Parks and Rec says, oh, 500,000 in there for Martin Luther King. What incentive do we have, do they have to kick in their part of the money? So that's my only thing.
So, Mrs. Grover, how do we get the city to tell us what they plan on doing at night, what they plan on doing at,
I wasn't, so
Okay.
they the park plan and where it's.
Can you let us know, because I know that every park is supposed to be in the master plan, the parks.
Yeah.
Remember that? That's how we got this nonsense, and they told us, well, it'll be 5 years before we get that done, but I think it's done now. So what's the master plan for parks, say for Ray Park, I mean, for, y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Y'all remember that old so-called master plan, we said 5 years. Well, we're starting, this is a new thing, this is a new thing.
Again.
Let's give them, we made a request, let's, we'll know by next month, something. I need it, I need it. Right. And that's not just that, it's not the whole camp, it's also the gym and the swimming pool, that's a major complex.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so we're gonna leave it like the next, place on the hang, she's gonna let us know tell us what they plan on.
Carlos.
With their master plan, okay, anything else on number 6? I'm sorry, Mr. Collins, Mr. Ramirez.
Yeah, I guess 2 things. First, we need to add the 300,000 for the kick bill.
Where is that?
It's not on yours, but we.
Well, you have Main Street revitalization, and we could then punch out, if you'd like.
That's where you got
I mean,
here.
that's where it would come from, under Main Street revitalization,
Yes.
as a general pot, but
Okay.
we could,
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And
we could, because I think you might more than just foot bill.
Yes.
But I think we have enough money there right now.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
the second thing, what is the parks improvement line for? And I'm sorry if I we discussed this already.
Parks improvement line,
Yeah, we have
we got the parks, where's that?
we have the named park improvements, and then we just have the park improvements.
Like 500,000, they're gonna add another 100,000.
Well, it's, no, the 100,000 is just a placeholder.
I know, yeah.
Anything there?
No,
I
that's.
don't know, this is why, this was in the budget, so y'all approved this last year, was it for 80? Now, I know we have to, we are gonna do some ADA improvements
Oh, children's
with
equipment.
equipment, which is over and beyond.
We're doing that, like we redo restaurant.
Right.
Yeah,
So we could, I don't know what that.
and we got 3 months in here already with some money. Then maybe we need to roll that over into a $1.
Don't think I think of if we like acquiring land, want to do another park.
That's been brought up by the people south of the interstate, and I agree with that. However, I'd like to see the parks as raggedy and bigger and established done. Before we start acquiring more vacant land, we just got the freedom. But I don't have any issue going south of the interstate and finding something, you know? And you know you need to buy it now because it's gonna go up. And I know they begging and want green space park down there. Okay, they got the dog park, I mean the dog park, but they got, I call it dog park, that's your park. They got that, they got riverfront park, but they don't have a parking park inside of that, I don't know if any green space in there.
Mr. Chair, both of those parks that you named are not in the CRA.
The riverfront's in the city.
Oh, Riverfront, you're right. I'm sorry. I was thinking.
Dog park, I'm just messing with all of that, that's the kind of name the dog park. But no, that has come to my attention recently, and I don't have an issue, but the question is that would be under, we've got land assemblies for affordable housing. Do we need to just park improvements? I mean, we got parks, but I think we're taking care of a lot of parks that we have.
I think we're taking care of the parks line by, on the main.
On the next, so,
I don't think.
so either we roll that to Martin Luther King, or we create that as land assemblies for parks.
Tara Robinson, we found out it's, I believe it's supposed to be related to the ADA improvements that we.
On what parks?
So it's.
Park improvements, just general parks.
This
We have one that has,
the ADA gonna be done on Saturday for that.
no, it's above and beyond that.
Yeah. So the fund, so it's gonna
You
be,
can't get it, if they're getting it by clothes,
We're
that's
talking
happening.
about equipment for disabled.
sorry.
Ain't no
So
disabled.
part of it, so I have a list that Parks Department provided to be able to find out what the funding was going into. So the amount for specifically for here for the West Tampa is the sidewalk improvement and entrance and handicap entrance and handicap parking. That were allocated, and there's some other equipment. We understand.
That's not in 3.9 million.
Finish. So I understand that at the time that they did this was in 2023, when they presented this in February last year. So they might not have the funding that we have now for the rate part. So we're just going to do a placeholder. If it's not used, it goes back to the budget. Right.
Good job, thank you.
I'm okay with keeping it in there, but then do we add another line item for park land?
Assemblies.
Assemblies.
There is a.
You don't need it, but you already have that.
Assemblage line.
Wait,
Like I
wait.
said,
Oh, no.
It's something about it, see it,
that's very simple. For anything.
that's for anything. So it's.
As long as it's in your
All
plan.
right, let's move on, now, we get, so I think we done,
Thank you.
all we did that, we added to the freedom park improvement,
We're good.
to make it 1.5 on that whole line, that one thing changed, correct? All right, let's move on,
Okay.
but we ain't got any suits now.
I will gradually agree to keep that line.
Okay, so everybody.
Yeah.
Consent by, let's move on to the page. Wait a minute, we missed that? Wait a minute, is that? That's just vaguely not there, so we missed that. Public arts, that's under infrastructure.
Right.
So that's under infrastructure and capital improvement. Okay, Ms. Spencer, is your hand up?
No, I don't need it, I hope to spend it this year.
Driving around all this stuff and putting streets out there and arting the street intersections.
And I'd actually like to see, and just letting Ms. Martinez know, and I think like some public art in Freedom Park.
What is 5, 6, 7, 9?
Interactive art.
But it is how they identify public art. It's their fund number. It's just something.
Okay, so we got public art in the budget, because it wasn't in the budget previously.
This is inadequate, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So this can be reappropriated too. I will share with you that there is going to be an arts position that's going to be funded. For the CRA, so they'll be doing, and it's gonna fall under this
And
14.
they're gonna take some of our money out of that line out of this plan. To do that.
I think there's a lot of art projects that we could be doing.
Well, we got, listen, We done had Ms. Sanchez and Ms. Jones been arguing, fighting, and fussing about this so-called soul walk.
Right.
Been arguing, fussing, and fighting about ain't no art around here on the wraparounds of the containers, okay?
Yeah.
And now is the time to jack that number up and do something with it. And then we have Mrs., so what is this? Would you be following this art because it falls under that?
So, yeah,
So I have a lot of confidence. I like the way you get stuff done and you come here with some
Thank
stuff.
you. Thank you, appreciate that. So, for the arts position, we found a person, we're getting ready to make an offer. The person is gonna report both to Robin Knight, which is an arts department, and myself. So I'm gonna make sure that the person is working for CRA projects. I have a list that I put together based on a list that Robin had given me, but I would appreciate.
Get the Tampa list.
The only thing I have for West Tampa was the North Boulevard Bridge under deck lighting.
Oh my God.
What?
Down at the bridge lighting.
Oh, no.
The North Boulevard
Oh,
Bridge
no.
under deck. But like I said, I'm trying to.
Down there. Talk about rapping. Hold on, let me get started here. Hold on.
So the,
Hold on, just a moment. Let's just get this. The only thing you have for art is the lighting underneath halfway, under the bridge. So we can't go to the other half, but that's highlight district. Now, y'all have to get the Tampa Heights. You
Tampa Heights.
can't go across the afternoon water. All right, hold on, let me go this way. Just hold on. I think I saw your hand up to
Yeah,
that first. Then we'll come over here.
The position, I'm assuming, is going to be under the positions where we have operations and administration. This is just gonna be actual project costs.
Correct, yeah, it's not salary.
So it's not, that's what I'm saying, that 317, excuse me, yeah, 217, 387 is for actual projects. So I
Correct.
don't think that's gonna, that's why I get back to how many people and where.
They don't get that, they don't flush that.
Yeah.
Now, and that's probably why they feel it, because they figured out now they gotta add this here, so they didn't have that in there, all right now. So the only thing that is 217, what you got on this list, see the list over here is lighting on the bridge, okay, now, Mrs. Jones, then Ms. Sanchez, go ahead.
So I'm wondering where, because saying that for the team up on the historic preservation and art. So, I wanted to put Mary Copper to the building over there as, part of that. Would that fit in? Also, Washington Smith Library, Wembley Peace, we have a lot of, historical things that we can put here.
But wait a minute, you jumped around, because that's a separate line item now. It's-
I know I'm saying, but are we separating those two?
No, we're talking about art thing.
Just strictly public art.
Public art.
Yeah, when we made a vote,
The what?
art and culture together, when we did a
You're
vote.
doing the cultural part now.
And then she was doing the art part, so are we separating it or is?
Well, no, I mean, art and culture is still art and culture. You said historical culture is different than art culture.
The preservation, I think, is for like more of the building and things like that.
Right, well, like the preservation of Wall Smith Library, preservation of this building, which we're gonna get a presentation
What do
on.
you want? Statue of a person or something?
That's public,
That's art.
that's public art.
Landmarkers that. we-
That's public art. So is there nothing to put a statue of Mary Tyler Moore down there? Huh?
It's still historic.
No, it's public art in a historical district context.
Okay, so again, is it gonna be two separate categories?
Right, that's preservation is all that preserving, like this building is historical, it's falling apart, the windows are going down, it needs to be restored. So that would come under historic preservation, you're preserving something that's already there. Okay?
I understand that.
So if you want a statue, maybe private doing, that's public art. It's a historical person, but it's public art.
I think there'd be two, I think there's gonna be two line items. Yeah, and I think based on what the project is, it may fall under.
Okay, go for
That's
it.
what I'm at.
Yeah,
Go for it.
If you're gonna do that, you probably would have, if we're gonna move forward, you're probably gonna have to increase that. And besides the North Boulevard Bridge, we also talked about lighting under Rome Avenue, the interstate under Rome and under Howard and Army.
We're gonna get the other side to do that. Does that, is,
We have to work with them, but I'm just telling you that those are
Yes.
some other ideas we have. We have some,
I'm sorry, I did see that one on her list, but it was DOT. She had, she didn't have it like CRA, I was thinking because on the list that she gave me, the CRA funded project.
No, FDOT won't fund that.
They may, but we're gonna put it down.
Yeah, right. First time.
Okay, hold on, this section, that you get to this, so we had on the bridge for, what about bridge, underneath the overpasses.
And then there was a West Tampa Community Gateways.
That's right there, Main House and Boulevard and that.
Yeah, yes, those were gateways supposed to be on Main Street, at North Boulevard, and also at Howard. Across the street, that was another one. Then we wanted to wrap the
Traffic signal boxes.
the city boxes. We even have a quote for that. You know, we even found out who to deal with. We had all that information.
What else we saying?
There's a number of, there's one, there was a mural, one mural that was moved forward by one of the organizations here. But they didn't understand it was a matching grant, so we didn't go forward with that. I had two other people who agreed to have murals put
That
on.
was the AIE building right down Howard, 110 years.
Is the theory paying for those murals, or is it gonna be based on a grant that they're gonna apply for to have the murals go?
Well, the first
We want to provide a source for money for people to do a mural, like this mural over here on Ray Park. Okay, that,
That's what I'm trying to make the difference, because if it's a grant, they have to apply for a mural, which is.
well, right now, we just want to put some money in there and we'll figure that application piece out later. Yeah, murals.
Like, decide that we need to increase the money and then like.
Well, what we're doing, we're trying to get her a little flavor. And then we're gonna increase it and we're gonna move on, because I can do all night. But let's, I think you heard several ideas of public art that's been defined to just the word public art. Now, how much money y'all think we need to add to this $217,000?
I was gonna say $500,000 here used, but
I'm thinking that, like, yeah, if you want to do something decent.
if we're gonna do historical markers, and if we're also gonna do artwork, we probably need $500,000. So
I think you need $1 million.
that's fine too.
In my opinion, but I don't know that. As a placeholder.
But put a placeholder in there, because I'll have to do the math. It may not be exact, but once I
Right.
figure it out, but.
Well, whatever, 217, really, what are you doing all the math? But what's going in pink here to make that even $1 million?
782,613.
That's what going in pink. Public art.
Round them to a million.
And that's $1 million, that makes sense, and we'll figure out the details, the devil in the details. Remember, now we gotta spend this money, and we're nationally start this, we have not, where do we put the, survey of the historic structures? I just thought,
It's already there. It's already there.
Oh, y'all don't think so? Okay, all right, let's stay in the lane. Okay, so we done with the public art of the infrastructure?
Yeah.
Everybody start steps down there? Thank you for the clarification. Thank you. See, if you keep up with all this stuff, you're gonna get a hero in there. Okay, moving on to 7, transportation and mobility. Hero. Moving on. Okay. All right, well, I mean, like I said, right now, it's 0. Yeah, okay. Community police. We got. What is that? Is that the 4 officers? That's an innovative thing. What is that? 300,000.
In the statute, you're allowed to do community policing.
Well, we know that, but what we got a plan to do it?
It was supposed to be the officers, and we still don't have them, and that was last.
No, they got 4 new officers, I think, in that district. Yeah, but I
remember what it was.
Yeah.
We asked for additional officers because of all that was going on with crime. We were told we couldn't program anything because they had to see what was being allocated to this area already. They never got back to us with that answer, and we've been waiting.
We've been waiting, we're supposed to.
And we did pick up an additional 4 with district, was it 2, is what I was told. Because they're saying that they're looking at us increase of 3,000 people. And so they came up with this.
This is a touchy one, so you're really supposed to be using your money towards innovation, security cameras, special task force, things like that. You know, just to pay for officers is, it's. So it's gotta be packaged and an innovation. But I didn't know what y'all, it looks like you didn't do anything with the money. There was 300 thrown there just because you had it before. I don't know if you, what you want to do.
And not knowing this, we're going,
We don't want to add an additional three.
Yeah, I'll take-
that's what we're doing, they're finally putting it in, oh, I see what you're saying, yeah.
Because you'll need it
Did the
somewhere.
police department make that request?
No, it's just a play. It was
Okay,
just
so
a place.
then what I'm doing, take out the 300,
Yeah.
out the pink, and just leave it 300, not 600?
Correct.
I'm listening, if I don't get that, then we're proceeding.
Well, I'm saying if we're not supposed to, if we have to be careful, should we even have the original 300 in here?
Yeah, I think we should, because you ain't, look, I'll say this. Was you up there Friday night?
Oh, this,
At 11 o'clock.
I've been screaming about this for.
No, was you up there this Friday night?
No.
None of y'all was, I was, you know what? The lady that used to have, I mean, we don't take that serious, they used to have the rhythm and whistle out of business. They didn't work out, so they closed. Now, I believe she's renting the bacon and goods, and it was standing room only, packed. You look in there, you wasn't no room to see space, packed. So now it's an event room. And the people going in there Friday was packed. They had a food truck right in front. They had cars parked all over the place. Then the brothers was over there at the liquor store bumping dice on the wall. They were broken. No headaches, nobody acting a fool, okay? But it was packed. Police wasn't necessarily around, okay? I didn't see them, if they were, they undercover, okay? But there was a bunch of people up there on that at 11:15, okay? So I'm just saying, that was on Friday, so I expect that to start evolving, because they had another event, I can see that. Then they had another event that was, they had the elected officials up there. I think it was Monday or Tuesday, where they had a town hall meeting, and they had a little thing at Bay Camp, because it's being used now as an event center. So I'm just letting y'all know that, okay? But she reached it out. She told me she was gonna do it, but she did that, but then the deal fell through with River, because that's a lot of overhead to try to run a restaurant and smart grill place. Okay, not today.
Well, this came about. Y'all remember when we had the shootings outside of Bay Canyon and other shootings, and we said, this has got to stop. We need dedicated police officers on not only Main Street, but the general area. And that was how this all evolved. So we could have not just general policing, but enhanced. This is where the enhancement. And then it got muddied. And so like mine.
Yeah, the politics came in, and this is where it works. You can't make the TPD do community policing. They got to say that they want to do it, and it needs to be done. Is that what I just said?
Yeah.
Remember when I had the so-called safety committee, and then we went round and round with that? And they disbanded, so we had it going on good. So my thing is, I agree with Mr. Brazil, let's get rid of that 300, to be added to make 600. They not here tonight, right? They didn't show up tonight. They ain't made no request for us to do it. And I don't know if there's no shootings up there.
No, but there will be.
I'm just telling y'all about this. I know, but we did get their cameras in hand with a little card that with the power go out in a hurricane, they'll still be recording. Remember they came in for that $200-some. We got that, but the officer has not said we need that. Now, until I see a TikTok time or something like that, you know.
I'm just thinking, if I'm a business and I want to go on Main Street, but it's a little rough, but, oh, we're gonna have special policing and all this. Now I'm more inclined to invest my money there. So
I'm like with Jeanette, I think we should keep it and push Tampa Police Department to develop a program to like sustain the safety on.
Right, I'm not gonna get keep it there.
What you could do is just, you have the categories, you don't necessarily have to put new money towards it. Let me get with the Tampa Police, have them come and come up with a plan, and if you have to reappropriate money.
Oh, why they won't come up with it?
Well, we asked what they need, what would fall into the wheelhouse of that community policing, and, well, do it again. And it's identify some needs, because you could do something like safety ambassadors, you could do something
Yeah.
with cameras, you could do something innovative.
Yeah, and I'm saying, my experience is, if you had police up there, you still would not shoot, you have nothing heads.
Well, you may want something called eyes and ears on the street.
Yeah.
Some kind
I
of.
think keep the money there, the additional 300,000, because it gives them a sense like, hey, we're putting something behind it.
Yeah, you already have three
I
hundred.
mean, we have 300, but
Yeah.
like 300, like,
Because it's very expensive, because I didn't get the proposal they had for the Riverwalk. I got what they were spending people, and it ain't cheap.
yeah.
That,
So,
you know, it ain't that,
So leave it for.
you know, because you did evil.
Then we come back with some needs.
So that would be good safety issue to keep that at 600.
just keep the pressure on.
Right. So what we need then, when they come in, Ms. Patrola, ask them what do they plan on doing with the community police in West Tampa, they're gonna probably say that.
Well, then you can you can find it.
Yeah, Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I remember we had a presentation and unfortunately, I remember the sound quality was so bad that we couldn't hear anything. But it was either police officer, retired police officer that worked here in Tampa, and he did innovative policing. So he saw where are the hot spots, and then he would come up with ways to be able to address those issues. Not primarily, not just enforcement, but other ways to working with code enforcement.
Right.
Like that.
Okay.
I think that was kind of under the umbrella of this innovative policing as well. So let's not forget that, and see if we can maybe pull all the ordinance or see who it was that
Is that, when we had our safety committee, to be honest with you, Jamaica was on that one.
Yes.
And I thought to do that in the county, they had a great program with that eye in the sky, but then it got to be the county jurisdiction. Staff didn't necessarily, and then the TPD said, we ain't coming to meet no more. You remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, with the chief at the time, that ain't here no more. So that sort of like, was like, wow, you know, it's like they clouded their own jurisdictional methods, meaning, and it got to be like, oh, wow. So, no, I think we just bottom line, we leave it in there, but we need to get TPD to come back, like you said, Mr. Vice Chair, and revisit what can they do? That falls under, now I'll tell you this, if you go to, what we did find out, if you go to the federal site, they have programs with community police, I mean, all kinds of, all over the place. And that's where I found out, wow, this is a site under the Fed that show community policing programs that's used in Baltimore, used over here, and everybody had their way because they fund some of those. The Feds do. But that's when I started saying, wow, there's a lot of different ways to do community police. All right, that is in that for you, you didn't give my quarter.
Yeah.
We do it. Okay, so your basic mind is leave it on.
Yep.
Okay, moving on.
Mr. President.
Okay, to historic preservation.
Are we even talking about cameras and technology?
Yeah, you can. I mean, it's.
Well, I'm just saying, if we're programming another 60,000 for something that nobody's monitoring.
They're monitoring it. They're actually recording it. That's why they came and said that they needed a chip because the power went out. So, but there's nobody sitting there. The way that works is they don't have, that might be innovative community with somebody. See that?
So
Because
we need to program that for someone to come in and say, we use more cameras in different areas and we.
Exactly. Okay, that was one thing, but to have somebody sit there and watch it, that's a whole other story. Okay? But yes, that's like the read of district council. So we're talking about, that's when they put this wall down here at Roosevelt Edge. And they put their own cameras up. I understand, because remember the guy from when we were having the security meetings, he came, but I think they done broke up what they call doing the office place convention, doing cohats. They say they got some cameras with face things. So they were talking about tying into so that's another thing. See, innovative to me would be everybody, the sign thing said, we could get the camera side in, like, you know, like the FBI, they hit you over here, they hit you over there. That way, if owners would do that, that could be something that we can. See, one thing I was thinking is that a lot of times business can't afford to put the cameras in. Maybe we have a program through our grant program to put a camera in for a business.
Like part of an agreement for community.
Exactly.
So do we want to add 60,000 for cameras and technology? Which make it 120?
Yeah, I think we need to move on. Yeah.
So just
Yes,
we're
yeah.
adding to it.
Yeah, we're adding the vote on 3 categories.
Okay.
As placeholders. Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah.
Yep.
You see Ms. Burleson's voice back there.
Just want to make sure all these numbers add up at the end. of the day. I think I should ask for some flexibility.
You're like 30-some million, we ain't spent yet. And if we ain't spent, we always reprogram. Okay, that is, for historic preservation, let me gonna get to. Okay, so, like, historic preservation.
Okay, so in that that's a purple, that was reprogrammed to the grants, but we created a new category based on the motion y'all made about doing this cultural resource in the grant.
Okay.
So then we added, I know that we just put in our $200,000 because I'm thinking of like CRP, most plans are falling somewhere between 150 and 200.
Look,
So that.
we didn't add the public art of this. Did we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we had another.
782.
Yeah.
613, okay, write it down. All right, so we got the art, and then, okay, what about down here, the historical cultural resource inventory? That's the update, and under song said, we haven't done since the 80s, and we could get all this housing, all this knocking down, we could lose our national historic district if we lose the contributing structure. That's crucial, because that's why I have not knocked my house down and sold it. So the wood frames and nook and crannies, because I know that if I do that and build all these 400,000, I can do that, that'd be stupid. That'd be killing the neighborhood in a historical district. That way ain't that. So I'm on historical preservation. Right. So is that a good number there, folks?
Yeah.
For now?
Yeah.
Okay, moving right along, and that's the new category, historical culture, resource inventory update. Quality of life and community improvement. West Camp Clean Team. It's been looking a little bit cleaner since they've been there. Is that a good number? $960,000?
Yeah.
Is that alley gonna stay clean? Or does that include the alleys, or that don't include the alleys?
So, no, we could include.
So where's the alley?
So that number, again, it's 500, because that's what it's just plugged in there. Your consumption was only
Only
164,000. I know you want to do the alley cleanup, the new RFP that went out to do that cleanup effort, which is like 1 year contract. I know you may want to do more. I'm hearing that. So maybe you want to go out for some other type of contract, maybe something that is more.
What are you saying, the alleys,
But-
is part of the West Camp Clean Team?
No.
No.
Under the.
Where we pay some alleys up, so we're over in the budget.
And these are the programs. These, again,
They don't-
the program team's going to come back and tell you a little bit more about it.
But the thing is, I'm looking at expenditures of zero. I don't see no consumption, the only consumption I see is the clean team,
164.
and I think that was the average too, wasn't it? That one just cleaned up on Main Street.
With the alley,
I know it, I'm looking at this, Ms. Jones, I want to see where is that consumption?
I don't think we've done alleys this last year.
We did clean alleys, man,
We
twice.
did alleys the year before,
We,
but we haven't done our alley.
I don't know, that matter's been clean, I walked down the street, somebody been
I
doing
mean,
something.
sometimes,
Maybe not over there with that, but,
sometimes we call them and ask them to help.
and then they come.
I don't think they charge us.
yeah.
So, if the city give us one back, they cut them into the charges.
So I
I
think
don't
that
think the citywide, you know, like you did the initial price.
So it's been like 2 years since we
Yeah.
did that every alley,
Yeah.
north and south of the state. Okay, so then where we put, so we wanna do that?
Yeah.
Okay, where we wanna put that, so where would it come under? Maintenance?
Now, we do have under infrastructure, we have the street alley sideway improvements.
Right.
Yeah, but that's infrastructure, that's hard to say, it's hard
This
service.
is more of a service.
This is more of a.
Service, okay,
Services.
fine.
And the other thing I'll caution you, maintenance, we don't like using those words.
But it can't be a
Because we're just
continuous
building
thing.
it, someone else.
Yeah.
We can use the word improvement, so that could be your catch all.
So the word maintenance is, you ain't gotta yell for that.
Yeah, I haven't yelled it. Just.
No, I'm trying to, you know, change the word for Smithton.
So-
It's not district maintenance.
Right, so that would be something we change. I would just change, I would take one word out, which is maintenance, district improvements.
We call it district improvement.
District improvements.
Okay,
And now you tack on.
Spend any money in that category, and we keep adding to it, so we need to define that one. And then below it, the fee abatement, that one, we didn't expend any money on it, that just came out. Well, graffiti, that can actually go under district improvements. Like, say,
Okay.
kind of those activities like that, so you can catch it there.
So district and graffiti don't be the same.
So we're
This
putting
can be
like
more
this
general.
alleyway under district maintenance improvement.
We could, I'll
district
find out where that's happening. I know
Let
there's-
let me back up this people. We good with the clean team being 960,000, correct? We good with 754,467 for district graffiti abatement improvements.
Wait, back to the first line.
Hey, what,
We spent 164, 165 last year. We have 460 available. Are we looking to?
You don't need to add a half a million.
Yeah.
Right, that's what.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna have to ask over flexibility, because of when I add all this up, if it doesn't budget,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to.
Well, I know things are greater than 25 million. That's a fact.
I know, but I'm looking at the pink column here.
And so we work at the pink card, so we got a yellow.
We can reappropriate, you can placehold like you're doing, which is wonderful, and then you can always add money. If you want to go out with a contractor, that's what you, something like.
Right, so what I'm saying is, we leaving that alone, but we're not trying to eliminate 500
I'm saying we don't need that, but we have 460 to go on. That's pays for 2 more years of what we've been doing
So the clean team.
for the clean.
All right, so take the 500,000 out on the West Tampa clean team, and it'll just be 460.
So do we need to add any more to district improvements? If we're gonna roll alleys or something into that? But if we're gonna do another cleanup?
But the district improvement is already 200 plus 7. Right.
How much, does anyone recall how much the alleyway project cleanup was?
That's what I'm saying, don't show them this in the
This
spending.
was last year. That's what.
Right.
Yeah, is it-
We can't remember.
I'm sorry, I'm sure.
Well,
I think it was 60/50.
It was a lot more. Come back to the end.
All right, well, we got a placeholder, we can add more. We got it. All right, so let's move to tree trimming. This one, I'm really what's interested in. There ain't nothing been done.
We got 100,000.
We got 100,000, these just like that, trees, these trims, these trees. It's cool, possible. Okay,
You just,
man, it's a right now. Main house, yes, ma'am, right now.
maintain the alley.
The alleyways ain't in there, that's just main house. The alleyways are dealt with on the district improvement. Where we got $700,000.
Keep trimming.
Yeah, anything in the alley, when they clean the alley, they trim the tree, they'll cut it back. They done that. They cut trees down,
They were supposed to clear that out.
they clear the alley, they got a machine coming now,
Okay.
okay? Next, fencing, rapids, windscreens, that was put in there because, well, one reason was is that when people coming down Main and police Avenue, what I'm trying to get is, I've seen where if you cut off the front to go to the back of the alley and then fence the back of the alley, because right now, I can take you out there right now on Main Street, and you go to the alley, they hang out at that one lot that's open in the front, ain't no fence, and right back there, there's a tree they camping out. I can take it over to the open lot right close to the fish market, and the guy done put up 1, 2, 3, 4 garbage can, and he got a little piece of cloth over it, and he living right there on the lot, okay, in the alley, and he right close on the alley, which, you know, a right of way, and he got 4, 5 garbage cans, he living right there. So I recall code on him, and then when he did, he moved from the garbage. So my thing is, that's why I was code enforcement, because I'm saying if garbage cans are sitting on a vacant lot, we'll start with people come pick them and get them out of there. But people use those as a refuge, as a home, as a house. Does you know that?
Yeah.
Okay, so why we let them just sit around on right of ways and don't be removed if it ain't even nobody getting down to pick up there? You get what I'm saying? So, but they ain't here tonight, see, this, I'm asking them. Okay, so getting back to this, closing this out, So that's why I had that there, and then this fence wrap, you saw that, where we did the parts, we wrapped it around, got the CRA, people started liking that, you know? Okay, so that's why it's there, and that's the way to get our message out.
Do we need to add another 80 to that?
But that, bro, I mean, I was saying,
Where'd that money come from if we didn't spend any of it? With
no, that came out of the project about doing the part of the design building, cost to secure with a fence. But this is something that we can do in addition to that, we might wanna do something. You get me?
As long as they don't pay for windscreens and make houses out of them on the garbage cans.
Absolutely. Y'all laughing about that, but the barber shop man is still talking about having somebody like that, you don't know what they're gonna do. Okay, debt service, that was added because down the road, now it's gonna take, I'm probably gonna be gone by the time they start doing that now. Where somebody says we need to give the museum $5 million. But we ain't got to give it, so we want y'all to commit y'all cash flow streams under this debt service to pay for that, so we get the $5 million and then we pay it back later. Got what I'm saying? That's what they're doing down there on Chandler, downtown. That's how you get 25 million for the 2 million for the Jim Martin, 25 million for the Strass Center. Bonded out. That's debt service. That's why that line was added.
So going back to our, do we need now $160,000 in fencing, wrapping, windscreen, banner? I mean, I know that we programmed Davey for that, I can't imagine.
I don't know yet, because my thing was to get those owners to try to seal off their property on Main. And it put, because that fencing can be somebody want to fence around their property.
So can I explain one thing that just?
Yeah. That'd be a grant.
Everything y'all went through, and I really appreciate the time you spent line by line to add money, to track money, so forth. I need it all but it's gotta be even at the end of the day, so I need.
Well, we can go back and figure it out all, I don't mean, we ain't got time to do that, I mean.
No, I'll do that for you.
But, yeah, I hope something's what I'm saying, we're not sitting there trying, we know it's gonna balance out, because we know we got extra money in there in the million.
But that's from previous years.
So,
I only
we're gonna
looking-
get another 8.5 million coming in.
Right, but what I presented to you today was a balanced budget,
But
and now it's.
go back and.
It's fine, I'll just recalculate it.
Let's put it this way,
I just need the
we'll
flexibility.
get the slush fund being 5 million, it's gonna drop to maybe $100,000.
Pardon me?
The 5 million that we got in infrastructure may end up dropping to $100,000.
Right.
But we don't care.
That's.
Because we're gonna be another year after this year, for the next 20 years. So, you know, and the city ain't spending that, no, we got a reserve sitting up 25 million, ain't them cents.
Right.
So that don't look good, so we want to try to, we're allocating it at least. And hopefully Martinez can get their money spent. And hopefully when y'all come off of this here program, where we got something that people fill out an application, so probably when I leave, I'm gonna fill out the first application. Okay? So I'm just saying, we need to get the moving with this money, and the legislature's gonna come in and take it. Right?
Mr. Chairman,
Now, let me ask you something. Yeah, hold on.
can we agree that we can let
I made a
Ms.
motion.
Thrower, that I was gonna do a motion if that's what.
Go ahead, Ms. You got the floor of the motion.
I move that we authorize Ms. Thrower to rebalance the budget based on our input and recommendations and return it to us for final approval next month.
Is there a second?
A second.
There's a motion in the second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Done. See how that works?
Yeah.
That's this thing you cannot, is y'all got the bump to do, that y'all want to move that next month. Because it's 8/27. And the lightning on, my brother, it's majority rule. I'm doing a strong quote, yes or no, I know y'all tired. But that budget does, see, that savings, because see, they throwing stuff in there, we got the people coming to do the, we got Jesus thing, can we just push that next month, y'all wanna go through it, I'll be here at 11 o'clock. I am then moved.
Move it to next month.
So y'all want to do it, a consensus, people?
Next month.
Okay, but we got it. Okay, now,
We just need to do it.
okay, right, okay, so that puts us on the agenda. We did community staff, redevelopment staff, update for Mrs. Throw for, Mrs. Jeanette, she's interested in that, anything you need?
Oh, yes, I can give you, thank you for offering to, so I can put it on. So there's a lot of moving parts. So what we have today, I'm gonna give you a sense of today because it changes. So we have 13 staff members that are on board right now. And as part of those staff members, we have 4 on the, well, let me, at the ones that are funded right now, we have some of the grants team, community engagement, project team, and then there's the new housing team. There is something I want to share with y'all that B Parks is going to be moving to the housing team. She's going to be the new community development manager or coordinator. So she's moving over there. She has a lot of experience in housing and it's a huge asset. So she's not leading us. She's just getting on another team. And the marketing that we spoke about, she was doing, we're going to have 2 things happening. We are going to be utilizing our public information officer who's with our portfolio in our department for some stuff. The managers are going to take on a little bit more of a role, and then we'll have the RP on the street. So that's what's going on with marketing or her role. That was community engagement. The managers, there's 3 of us. They're not adding another one. So I'm with you guys in e-form, and I try to give you as much love as I can. I will continue to. On the projects team, Melissa's here. She's almost completed her team. She's going to have 4 total. And I think she's got her 2 with 4 with her. She's got 1 more coming on board. So she's got a project coordinator that she's going to be hiring, very much like Nick, a second Nick, that will be working, again, all the teams are working across all of the CRAs. So that's how the model is playing out. In terms of the grants team, Dee Reed is, if y'all met her, she came before you. She has 4 positions. She did end up with 2 vacancies. She had Bree Linnebrink, who was with the city for many, many years, 30 years. She has retired. And Brett Burke, who was also on that team, has also gone on to, has left the team. He's going on to something, another opportunity. So she has 2 vacancies and they're actively being, opened and advertised for. And then you have the housing team on the B. B's going to have herself and another 2 people. So that's giving a housing team, I think, a total of 3. Three at negative, there may be a 4th. And then Melissa mentioned the arts position. That's a new position. So basically, total, we're getting 23 people. That's where we're moving towards. And with people, moving around, leaving, everything's being actively advertised. The team is growing. And so when I share the O&A with y'all, it's going to be all of us are sharing in all these group resources, the different teams that are all working towards the CRAs. I'm dedicated to West Tampa and Ybor, but I could go somewhere else if they move me around. But the managers are all working very close together. So if one day you see Cedric here and not me, they'll be able to handle it, or someone else that we could plug and play in other districts. So that is the staffing update as I have as of
That's
today.
not the staffing update.
What's that?
What's happening with that, not development director?
Oh, no, that's higher up the food chain. So our Nicole Travis, I'm sorry, y'all all got to know her. There is an announcement. Did everyone hear about the announcement? She is leaving the city. She's going to start a consulting firm. And I don't know who's filling that role right now, but we still have, of course, our director, Eric Moody, and Lily Strumko. And then we'll find out, as soon as we find out, you find out, then who's going to take me over.
And with all this, and I know Jeanette predicted this, all this ads, tracks and all. My thing is yes, we're in a state of flux. Yes, we don't change the whole thing the way we done it and all this, but we need to get some of these projects done. River cuts, Gwinnett and that.
Well, here's my concern. Okay, 23 we're gonna have. Today, we have 4 in grants and 4 in projects. We got depending on how you count the CRA, 7 or 9, do the math. FTE devoted to West, because everybody's divided. So it's hard to know who's, how many people are devoted to West Tampa, but you do the math. If you divide all the CRAs, we barely have one FTE, less than 2 FTEs, I'll say. We have half of Brenda. We have a small increment of others. We got $38 million and we got 2 people. It's ridiculous. I just don't understand it. You're never gonna get all this money spent if you don't have more people pushing projects and getting things done.
But the sad thing is, we don't control that part of the game. So we have to do what we do, and that is to allocate the money in these lines like we did and make sure to balance that thing. Because if we keep showing that the money is out there and we got the specifics, they're in a state of flux. And they're gonna be in a state of flux, in my opinion, for another year. Okay? My goal is to make sure that we stay ahead of the curve by making sure we balance, that we put money where it ought to be. So when the legislators come down and say they want to snatch it, we say, no, that's already committed. It's already identified. And so what we'll have to do is, I don't see this getting settled to the first of the year, because people coming, going, leaving the city. You're gonna have that flux. It's not gonna change. And I don't see it changing.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
As an advisory committee, we have the power to voice our concerns and what we feel are the adequate staffing needs. Whether they listen to us or not, that's a different story. But if we sit here and say, we're not satisfied with the staffing levels, we think there needs to be X, whether it's 3, whatever, then we need to put that in writing. I don't know when we're up for our update, our CR.
Oh, yes, Mr. Robinson went on January, I think we were the January CAC rep, I think you'll be due, I think it's September or something, I'll look at the schedule when that.
Yes, no when we're.
But
It would be the time to say, we said it then. But I'm saying that we can make the most and say that we feel that the staffing is inadequate for the West Ham to see our advice committee. And we'd like the board to take a look at that.
Yes, we
That's
want a plan to increase.
everybody.
We want a
You can do
plan.
that, you make a motion, then it's gonna be done, so it's written, so it shall be done.
Yeah.
You're gonna go there, be that bold.
Isn't that what we're here to do? Is
Well,
make recommendations.
Make a motion, get a second,
And we
everybody.
feel that the staffing isn't adequate, and we want to see a plan to increase staffing that will more adequately meet the needs of the West Tampa
Is
CR.
that a motion?
I so moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, is there a discussion? All in favor, say aye.
state the
Wait,
motion, sorry.
wait. This how you get it done, Mr. Mayor?
One more time, Michelle.
That we are not satisfied with the staffing level, and we would request that the city come back to us with a plan.
Not the city, the CRA.
The CRA, pardon me. To a staffing plan to better meet the needs of the West Tampa
The
CRA.
CRA board. Put them on the
So
spot.
this is a recommendation to CRA board.
This is a request.
Yeah.
This is a request, not a recommendation. There's a difference.
Well, it's to staff too, because they're the ones, Erica Moody is the one it's to her and to the CRA board.
And the second was. Thank you. All right.
And
Thank
there
you.
was-
You have to slow down for me, you know that.
There's no discussion, it's being recorded. There was no discussion. Okay. Anything else, Ms.?
No, I see.
All right, so that take the body.
I just want to clarify your recommendation is not just, the need is to make sure we implement our project more effectively in timely.
Expedition.
Well,
Expeditiously.
but
I think
to
that,
do that,
We need additional
more staff.
but that's why we need the additional staff.
That's the justification.
Because.
We don't have the justification in the recommendation.
Yeah,
We can't spend the money.
yeah, to better meet the needs of the West Tampa
She
CRA.
said,
Because,
That's vague.
well, we.
They get the point. I think.
Yeah.
If we don't do anything, then we're gonna be back here next month saying that we've done a lot of. So the way the politics work
I understand.
is get something to the table. And they'll know that we asking, that we want additional help, because they're not gonna do it, because they're staff. We got to say that, and we got to say it through a motion that lets them know that we're serious about it, okay? So we done made a motion, I think it's pretty clear.
I gotta say, like, when we say need, what's the need? I think the need is, we need to be very specific.
Well, but I'm looking, that's why I said for the city to come back with us with a plan to increase staffing. I can't say we need 3 more people. We need,
Exactly.
they need to.
I think you missed my point, like, I think Ms. Martinez is getting it, and like, I think we need to say, we need to be simply like, why we want to be able to.
Well, let me stop right now, okay?
I'm done.
Let me stop.
I'm done.
Let me stop.
I disagree with, like, I think we need to be a little bit more specific. I'm done.
Let's make a second motion.
Hold on,
We're good. I'm
I'm
done.
gonna order you, please. What was the motion passed, Mrs. Girl, what you wrote down? That's what you write down. That's
There was
what
a
you-
motion, but, by Ms. Fenton, second by Mr. Ramirez. To the city staff or CRA staff and board, that they are not satisfied with the current staff.
No, don't say that. I don't want to.
That's my understanding.
The staffing level, not.
Oh, staffing level.
We're not satisfied with the current staff. We're very happy with our.
Let me hear you.
It's the staffing level that we are not satisfied.
Get it clarified.
All right, not satisfied with the current staffing level.
Correct.
Okay?
Yes, don't make them sound like we don't think y'all are, no, y'all are
Okay,
wonderful.
what else?
And request that, a plan be presented back to you, a staffing plan back to you that would better meet the needs of the West Tampa CRA.
2 more timely implement
Oh, wait a
the
minute.
budgeted projects.
We on that.
Can we?
Let's move on. Let's move on. Bobby, let's move on. We got it amended. All right, new business.
Was there a vote?
Yeah, we voted.
We voted on it, but if y'all wanna do it again,
Robert's rules, you voted, you amended.
Well,
no, we didn't amend it, we clarified.
everybody, it's good.
Huh?
All right, that's fine.
Yeah, I did. Okay. All in favor of the motion that was read by Mrs. Brenda Thurlow, say aye. All opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Now, that clarified everything.
I have a question before we leave. the community.
We didn't have that, I'm on new business, but
Before we leave,
We haven't.
community redevelopment department staffing update, I have 2 questions.
okay, sorry.
First one is residential grants. We talked about who's running the commercial grants. Are the residential grants going to be run under housing? Is that the idea?
Yes,
Okay. And then 2, who's doing the programs? We talked about projects, who's Ms. Martinez, but who's doing programs?
Right. It's going, right now, it's falling under the commercial grant coordinator, so that's Steve Reed.
Okay, anything else, Mr. Brothers?
That's all. Thank you.
All right, new business.
Unfinished business, please.
Unfinished business, okay, go ahead.
I just want some clarification. Okay, the West Tampa overlay, we understand that David Hunter is going to help. I think it should be one person that he contacts among us, or that can communicate with him. For example, I think it's very important that we get a copy, those of us who are going to work on it, get a copy of the original one that was approved, and then the amended one that came out. So I think if there's any kind of communication, there should be one person that can possibly communicate that to him. Otherwise, I might call, Carlos might call, might call independently. I just want to know, how do you think we should approach that? Like, I want to tell him, I think we should, those especially with the West Tampa CAC should get a copy of both of those to look over. We don't want to go to a meeting in June, and especially the people, the community, they don't have a copy to look at. So
So everything he's putting out, again, I just met with him today, to reach out, everything I've given him all of your emails. So he can use that list as a conduit to get all that information out. So that's what he's going to do. That's what his plan was, to add to that communication list, what.
That's the invitation. I'm asking for him to put the information out so people can review it.
Correct.
And there's a reason they've given us the date of June. And that is, it's going to give us a very short time if we want to change anything for the July cycle. There's a whole psychological thing to that, and I understand that. But don't have a meeting on July 12th and expect us to make a decision when a lot of people have not seen the overlay.
So I will ask him what the communication plan is. Again, this is happening outside of the CAC. So
I understand.
And that's all I can say.
It's the communication of who's going to attend. I have not been able to get a copy of the original. Okay, I've called Dennis Fernandez. I've called Sean, anybody that had touched that before. If I can find out the date that it was approved, the year if the first one was approved, I can make a records request. But without that information, I cannot make a records request.
So there's nothing precluding any of you from talking directly.
Okay. I just thought it might be.
There's nothing. They're taking the lead on it, and that, I think that's perfectly fine, and that's why he came to kind of introduce himself, do that from us.
And he left his number, didn't he?
This number, I think, yeah, we have different parts of the next number. Yes, I'm correct. So thank you, yeah, I think you.
I just want to know, when is there going to be the presentation on the housing grants, so housing program?
I don't know yet.
What did she say?
The housing, she wanted to know, sorry, what's around the corner. The presentation on housing, I don't know. It's coming from that team.
Now, gonna be this year or?
Oh, yes, I can definitely that. Yes. Yes, yeah.
But I told y'all, they ain't gonna be straight next year. Okay, anything else on the unfinished business before we move on to new business? New business, any new business? Okay, let's see, yes, Mr. Colon.
Thank you, Chair. I just would like to, I don't know exactly how to do this, but the need for green space is enormous. The tree canopy issue is critical. North Hyde Park does not have a public park. So I would like to ask the city to look into finding available property in North Hyde Park to create a public park for children to play in and for people to enjoy nature before it's all multi-story apartment buildings.
Is that a motion?
Yes, I can make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, nay. Motion passed, unanimous. Anything else was going on? Mrs. Fish.
Not for tonight, but, and I know you were there at the meeting, but save it for next month. Can we have an update on Rome Yard? I know there was a city council session on it.
Well, basically, short and simple thing, the phasing agreement was approved. Phasing agreement was approved at that meeting in the schedule.
Right, but I want to know, not tonight, next month.
We got somebody from, related company. I don't know if it's gonna be next month, because it's already been CAC. And we still, we're gonna do, and I may change the agenda to do Jesus list before we do anything.
That was.
Because the budget got snuck on me tonight, because I didn't know it was gonna be in there. But I figured that the budget is crucial to stay on point with that. And, something was gonna slip tonight, and I figured it'd be okay soon, but we didn't get there, because that triggers a lot of other coordinating and how we keep up with stuff and track stuff and got it in the right grant category, commercial category. Yes, Ms.
And along with that, I want to agree with you, and I think it should be put up close to the top of the agenda. And I think that presentations that do not need to be made, if there's somebody that wants to just make a presentation that we can't act on it immediately, that we move that to another.
We've been doing that. We've been doing that. We've been doing that. But we had this quick deal that just jumped out of nowhere.
Right.
And we found out that we looked at what they thought was gonna come in and get approved tonight, see? Because
That has to do with the staffing. In other
Yes,
words,
just,
we need to get that over with. To find out which projects, how many projects we really have going, because we can't say we need more help. But right now, we're only.
that's why we need extra was to be reconciled. We'll get there, the budget, and I had to make a decision. And that's a little later than 8, but we had to get the budget done because I know how this game played and we got that, we did excellent, we did it faster than we ever did, really. And we got it well thought out, well planned, and I want to thank y'all for that. But we gonna move Jesus, get that list consolidated up on the list next time, Ms. Brewer.
Yeah, y'all all have this list before you, so look through that list. If there's projects that you want to work on next year, we can do that.
But no, what we wanna do is we don't wanna be, we're trying to create AES, which is that new one, which Martinez has, and made another one that we don't have to have ACS.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yes.
Eventually, we'll migrate,
We're trying to come up with one down there and place it, he's doing it, so that will be what we carry forward. Okay? Cause y'all, because we still think they're that day. Now,
So,
do bit. Go ahead.
just one thing near the end, I have binders here for anyone that is.
We got the, that's new bit, announcements.
That's,
Okay, here go announcements right quick. The West Tampa Reclaim Transformer Central Expo Yellow, it happened last Friday. Great presentation, my vice chair was there, Mr. Ramirez, and I invited whoever the winner to come make a presentation. Now, they might be on this presentation next, but I hate to say that, the school will be, I think they'll be gone otherwise. But they had a great presentation down there about what to do with this building. Some thoughts was about a fine arts museum, okay? And they made presentations, but I asked them most of the big question. What part of that? They ain't think about that, right? Now, so I just tell you, that might be on there, but I ain't giving them 5 minutes. And I had some coffee spilled on the paper, but anyway, real quick, 1500 West Cass Street. They wanna have the beverage AB2 at 1500 West Cass Street. Here, May 23rd, Louis Mandel. Okay, Louis Mandel, it's the same location there. Next one is, PD Resort to Multi-Family Development. JD Architects. This is a notice of filing with development. It's a, 1101 North Howard Avenue. PD Resort for Multi-Family Development. Being the representatives, Rashu, JD Architects. Here's another one at 2511 North Howard Avenue. Residential office with PD Plan Development for Office, PFLLC, Azam, Ishli. That's thinking.
That's factory.
That's, okay, yeah, 2511 North Howard, it said. And then I got one here for lot split. Lot split of portion of existing portion of 1110923.000. Dominique Rackett was found in the zone. And they're actually going Cypress. They don't send the street, they just give a lot split on a folio.
Do you have a REZ number on it?
Yeah, it's a FDN, an application for formal decision. Which the comment period is expired on the 23rd today. It's FDN -24 -0000081. And open book record period is from the 8th of April to the 23rd. And then there's one here from REC. There's another one. This is 2109, 2111, 2113 West North 8th Street. From RM 16 to PD, residential single family attached. And it's REC 24-00000021 by John Long. And here's another one, 13, 14, 13, 16, 13, 13, 20 Gray Street. You know, this brother Coffee messed it up. but David Mechanic is the agent for Andrew Cole at CNC Group. And this is the application for special use ones. Jim.
It's illegal as a parking.
Oh, I don't know what it was. I'm gonna get all these things to Mrs. Brenda Grower, for her to put it in the records, whatever she do with it. That's all I got for, announcements. The next meeting is May the 9th. No, the next salary board meeting is May the 9th. Sorry about the call on it. And the next CNC meeting is May 21st. And please indulge the fact that if the students down that did the presentation on the Central Yo want to do a presentation, I'll offer them that. So that would be the only special that I probably will allow. Because I know students will be out. If there's anything else, please
Just to make sure, I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Just to make sure, on the 21st, you have the presentation from the hourly study. Now, I just want to go over the Jesus list, but they're coming to present. That's still okay?
Yeah, okay. Students need to get them started.
Just last, if y'all didn't make it to the binders, I got binders.
All right, so sure. Everyone of y'all is. Now, one day, I know each one of y'all not to. Y'all is. Y'all is. And I know, yeah. Y'all, look out, I know y'all got special things. Yeah. You know, I've been sort of, you know, it's been, so, he's